Mother, man.
Look here, dude. When I'm beating Michael Jordan one-on-one, I'm listening to Murder Metal Mayhem,
Spreading
dude.
faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem!
All right, well, fuck yeah. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on, Pete? Cashman, how's it going, fellas?
Doing well.
Kicking some ass here on a Tuesday, doing what we do at Horns High Studios on the Horns High Podcast Network. Episode 129 tonight. Chris, just keep racking them up, dude.
Fucking right, man. I got
Crazy.
my fucking deep fried gator nuggets sitting here.
Nice. You guys doing okay? Pandemic got it under control. Everybody's all good.
Hells yeah.
Good.
Whatever.
That's good. Well, I know
whatever.
it's just such a strange fucking time, man. It's just so weird with things getting set up and people are hopeful and then they get canceled. And
It's so, that's so weird, too. It's like so many things at my work are like moving towards like things are opening back up. And I feel like big companies like that know a little bit ahead of time. You know what I'm saying?
right.
They knew we were going to close probably a week before the world knew we were going to,
Right.
just,
Fucking
all
big
these heads
corporate
up are
shit.
big balling motherfuckers.
Right.
And so now it's like things seem to be going a certain way, and I feel it's like because they're showing us that it's going to be all right. But at the same time, any second, fucking pull a switch on something, you know?
Right. Big time.
That's
what-
mayhem. That's the fucking
It
world's
is,
mayhem.
dude. It is. I mean, we did that episode on the Black Plague, and we talked about how this is all, how it compares to this and SARS and all this other stuff, and it was an interesting topic.
Yeah,
so if
it
you're
was.
interested to hear us talk about that, you should go check out that
The
Black
Black
Plague
Plague
episode. That was badass.
I don't
That would have
remember
been
what
at the
number it was.
beginning. It was in like the spring because it had
Yeah.
just started.
Right. It was about a year ago. I mean,
Yeah.
it's March right now, so
That's
fuck,
true.
It's
Yeah,
about a year ago.
probably. I'm going to guess April, May
Yeah.
was when we did that, but I'm not 100%. T-shirts, Chris. I like the Bundy shirt
Hell
you got
yeah.
on there.
Cashman gave me this motherfucker. Says, rest in peace, Theodore Robert Bundy on the front with that famous courtroom picture of him
Right,
on the
with him
front.
screaming. Yeah.
Hell yeah. The back of it says, we serial killers are your sons. We are your husbands. We are everywhere. And tomorrow there will be more of your children dead. Fucking it's a quote by Ted Bundy.
Oh damn, that's fucked up. Joey, what do you got on over
I'm
there?
impressed he fucking memorized that.
I know. Wow. Shawback Nation. Man.
I get in some learning sometimes, man.
Yeah, man. I'm wearing a Triple X Maniac hoodie. Fucking
Cool.
ultra violent fucking gore grind, sick shit. Got to play with those dudes in Sheboygan, Wisconsin back in like 2007.
Nice.
Pretty fucking cool.
Very,
fucking
very
right, dude.
cool. And you got your Boston hat on.
Got the Boston hat
All
on.
right.
It's almost baseball season again.
It is. It is. It's weird. It's
Getting
weird.
into spring training, you know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet what I'm doing with the sports this year. I'm liking having the extra free time. I'll be completely honest, especially baseball. Holy shit,
That's a lot of
3
games, man.
hours. Almost every night you're sitting
Yeah.
there. That's a lot of time sitting there watching.
I was trying
something.
to push myself, like some of the games, just listen to them on the radio.
Yeah.
So I used to do that whenever I was younger. We used to just drink and hang
Right.
out, so we just have the game on the radio. It was fucking
Right.
cool, you
True.
know? But
Yeah, some people like the radio announcers better than
That's true.
the TV ones.
yep.
And I've got this brand new decapitated
Fuck yeah,
shirt.
it's
I
a
got
sick fucking shirt.
very fucking sick.
Poland death metal.
Totally loving those guys. They're in the studio now, so pretty excited about that. And I got a hold of their merch guy. That seems to be the way to go.
That's the way.
And the merch guy said as soon as they're out of the studio, he'll let me know, and we could set something up with them.
That's
so
fucking nasty,
be fucking
dude.
bad
Hell
as hell.
I bet a lot of groupies suck some fucking rock star cock by getting to know the merch guy first.
I
you
wouldn't
know
doubt
it.
it. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. So, all right. So last week we did another good one on the Poughkeepsie Killer.
Yeah.
Little Kendall Francois.
Francois.
And he had a thing for killing prostitutes and stuffing their dead bodies in his attic and crawl space. So
It's cool, man. Nobody will notice.
yeah, it's
And they
just that
didn't.
smell.
And
Yeah.
they didn't for a while.
That's what's amazing. His house was that fucking nasty that he was able to legitimately explain away the smell of 8 dead bodies in the house.
That were not even hidden, just laying around.
Just laying around.
Ridiculous.
Definitely a sick bastard. It was a good one. We had CK on talking about Angeles Apatrida from Spain.
Hell yeah.
Those guys are amazing. And we even played part of the interview
Yep.
with Guillermo, the singer, guitar player. And we actually released the full interview last week as a bonus episode on Friday. Very, very kick-ass. So give episode 128 a listen if you missed it. And we're closing in on 800, or we just passed 800 on that one. And we just hit 600 on the interview with Guillermo. So
Shit, yeah,
thanks, guys. Very, very cool. But if you missed either, go check those out.
Hell yeah.
Now, tonight we got a brutal one, man. Chris, this has been kind of on the list, hanging around for a while. We wanting to do this topic because it's just kind of a almost fun legend type of a story.
It grew to be a legend, for sure.
It really did. It really did. But we were going to have Tex on, but unfortunately, Tex has to do some mandatory overtime at the prison, so he will not be here.
Yeah,
but he missed being here because we're doing a Texas case.
Right,
so,
exactly. Because
We'll get him back on for sure.
Oh, he's going to be back on for sure for something.
Yeah, we've got a topic coming up in the next couple months that we'll be calling him. So anyway, Tex, we know you wish you were here, and so do we. But
You
we're
talking
gonna
about the Bayou episode?
yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we should have him on there. I'm reading the book currently.
Oh, cool.
We're talking about Murder in the Bayou. If
yeah,
you've
the
seen
Jefferson County 8.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good story.
So Pete gave me the book because he got 2 of them, and I'm currently reading that now. So I'm pretty excited to do that case our way.
Yeah,
Fucking right.
for sure. It's kind of like if you liked our Sugar Babe episode,
Which apparently you did because people fucking were listening.
number 4 episode of all time, the Sugar Babe
That's fucking
episode.
crazy as
Finley
shit, man.
Cripps, man, just listening to it.
Hey, yo, they talking about us, B.
Yeah, it's actually the episode
See.
is the
Oh, yeah,
something
sorry,
about
see.
the death of Mary Jo Viegel or Regal.
Yeah, Mary Jo Regal, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the Sugar Babe episode. Anyway, that story, thanks to listener Stephanie
No,
from
it's-
Toledo,
Vera Jo.
Vera Jo, yeah.
Yeah, Vera.
She had suggested us do that topic for Mother's Day one year,
Yeah.
and we did it, and it was hilarious. And so anyway, that episode's just killing it. But that Jeff Davis County 8 story is like Sugar Babe on the Bayou.
Right.
So,
Oh, yeah.
with the whole boudoir in and all this shit, it's fucking Boudreaux in.
Boudreaux in. And way more fucking, like, scandalous shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I've been giving Tex some crap though. He's got to do a live remote from
I
the
heard you say
Boudreaux
that.
in. So we'll see.
That would be so cool.
That would be amazing. So anyway, that's what we were going to do tonight was have him on. But rest assured, we are going to forge on, and we're doing this crazy ass case from South Texas, 1930s, and the Joe Ball thing in the alligator pit is just—it's just an eye-catching headline. I
Yeah,
mean,
dude fucking kills fucking waitresses and shit and throws them to this gator. He's just got a
Right.
gator pit for fucking disposal of the bodies. Dude.
that's right. That's
the only
right.
reason he's got them.
And he had a thing for killing women and throwing them in the alligator pit. At least that's what some believe.
And his
we'll talk about
story
it.
became the ultimate
my
in
God.
fucking pulp tale.
Totally,
for sure.
totally. Yeah, I mean, it was all over those True Detective magazines and stuff. Of course, playing up in the alligator side of it. And some people don't agree that he even did that at all. So
Right.
we'll talk about it. He was definitely a wild motherfucker and did some crazy shit and legitimately killed at least 2 women.
And
Definitely.
talking about wild motherfuckers doing crazy shit, I heard CK's over on Wild Man.
Oh god damn, he's always doing wild shit over
What's
there.
he doing tonight?
He's all fired up. He's going to be talking about SOD.
I'm so stoked.
And he's been screaming like SOD lyrics and terrorizing the citizens of Danbury, doing the Milano mosh up and down Wildman
yeah.
Street.
Milano mosh, hell
So he is just going absolutely nuts. He's fired up, and so we are going to talk to him in the metal segment. So it should be good. Got a good killer cage match tonight, guys.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's funny how it worked out because it's honestly randomized here. We got some listeners to thank.
We
Chris.
got Stephen Lyles.
Again, man.
Yeah.
Stephen Lyles or Stefan, I'm not sure how he says it, but man, thanks for that, dude. You're always there.
Hell yeah. And we got Samantha Cram, little gunshot.
Yeah, she's been on there before.
Yes, and we've got Tony Blakes. So thank
Yeah.
y'all motherfuckers for the numbers. It should be an interesting battle this evening,
Yeah.
considering the variable.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Joey, we got an interesting one tonight. All-female killer
Cat
cage match.
fight, Battle of the Bitches, Rosemary West and fucking Lizzie Borden.
Ooh.
That's two fucking mean bitches.
That is
Yeah,
two
for sure,
bitches,
man.
dude.
But
That's like
Rosemary
bitches that
West
are-
is pretty stout, though, dude.
Oh yeah. They're both like they're on their period at all times.
So it's going to be good. Got a couple of objects for him to fight with, and a variable, as Chris said, is interesting. So it should be brutal. And, of course, we'll have that in the Mayhem segment later on. So that should be fun. All I got to say is, what the fuck with the new creation from Spellbound
Oh
Effects? and
my
Art?
God, dude. That
heart.
thing was nasty.
The
Yeah,
beating heart. Oh, my
actually
God.
pulsing, dude.
Tell
It's-
me how much it is. I will PayPal you the money. I want one of those fucking hearts.
You know
Right.
that
Gotta-
motherfucker is going to be fucking top line order for all those escape rooms.
Oh my
and all that shit.
God, it's so fucking realistic looking.
Yeah.
But Spellbound Effects and Art.com, amazing. Tony Campagna is a friggin' animal when it comes to the artwork.
It looks a lot cooler than the Beating Heart Temple of Doom.
Yeah, oh, for sure. So stock up on your gore and visit the amazing online catalog at spellboundeffectsandart.com. Buy some shit. I had Tony on this episode that just came out on Voice of Dread on March 1st, and he was great as always. Good topics and fun to talk to. Talked about his first high school art project he did with animal blood, and the teacher was cool with it, and he got a bunch of blood from the butcher and came in and did it, and then the next day the whole room stunk, and they
I
had to
bet.
take the artwork down. But yeah, so
I'm
Tony's
stoked. I haven't heard that one yet. I gotta listen to
Tony's
it.
a trip, and he's a good dude. So check that out, voiceofdread.com, if you didn't hear my episode with Tony Campagna. But we love him here because of the shit he's done and continues to do for us. So, all right, an update on the new shirts. They will be shipped out this week to us from Faceless Screen Prints. Now, let's hope that fucking UPS or whoever's delivering these things can get their shit together, because we've been very patient. Dave has been battling a lot of issues since the order was placed, including himself getting a fucking horrible case of COVID that had him on his back for about a month. So thanks to everybody who advanced ordered for understanding and being cool.
Yeah, for real, thank you for that.
The shirts are so amazing, though. They're worth the wait. And so if you want to get one of these now, especially now because they'll be here soon, go to the episode description. You can order one, and you're going to have this killer Jeff Gaither
Artwork
art piece
on
with
the
us
front and back.
crawling out of fucking graves, zombified, and then on the back, the logo and blood splatter. And
It's pretty gnarly.
it's wicked. The colors, full color front and back. I mean, absolutely over the top
Oh yeah.
color work on this one. Jeff Gaither, and then Faceless Screen Prints. Dave over there killing it with the attention to detail. So anyway, that's the update with the shirts. Thanks to all you guys listening to the show. We see numbers rolling in this week, crushing it. 4,300 listens.
Awesome.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And we are seeing an explosion out of Columbus, Ohio. They are the first top city listening to the show in a neck-and-neck battle, though, with Chicago.
I'm not. There's no coincidence that the Sugar Babe episode all of a sudden blows up,
Right?
and so does
And
the
so
Columbus,
does
Ohio.
Columbus, yeah.
That's true.
I
That's
know
funny.
now with me portraying certain characters in
Oh.
commercials we do. I need to be careful so I don't get jumped over there.
For real.
Yeah, because there might be some people that really, love Punky Brooks.
Yeah, you never know.
So, all right. So yeah, it's cool to see cities like that just jump in and just move all the way to number one. But we're seeing other cities too. Cedar Rapids, Iowa keeps showing up. Manhattan is like number 4. Danbury's always on there. No Bloomington, no Normal. What's up with that, guys?
That's weird.
That is
Our
strange.
local
That's fucking-
listeners, but
I mean,
yeah.
it's only so big. You figure about.
True.
You figure, not everybody.
We've outgrown our hometown.
Yeah.
San
right?
Jose, California's on there. Dallas, just really cool. So we appreciate it very, very much. Now, Joey, you've been doing this page a day,
Yes.
the serial killer calendar, and we've just been getting a kick out of it. But what was one you just did last week that just has us absolutely going crazy?
Edwin Riss, the feather thief.
Oh my God. That was just such an insane story about a guy who steals these birds that are so rare that 300 of them are worth $1 million.
Yeah.
That's fucking
And he's
crazy,
selling
dude.
this shit on the black market. But what killed us, though, Joey, was at the very end of the little story you read
Right.
from Page a Day. It said what?
It said whenever he got through, he wasn't really convicted of too much, and
Right.
he went to Germany
Right.
to play heavy metal flute. Which, if you look
To
on
make
YouTube,
heavy metal flute videos, is what it
yeah,
said.
you can go on YouTube and go check those videos out right
And
now.
we were
Crazy.
dying because while you were talking about it, I'm searching YouTube and I'm holding up my phone because you guys got to check this out. I've got like a 50-second clip of this fucking dude, the feather thief, playing Master of fucking Puppets. Check this out. Oh my God.
Dude, that's fucking crazy.
That is absolutely insane. Go on YouTube, type in heavy metal flute,
Yeah.
and he's got a bunch from Game of Thrones. He's got all
Yeah.
kinds of shit on there. So,
But we're going to be doing an episode about it.
yeah, we are. We just such a kick out of it. So I go on, and also on YouTube, there's this documentary I watched about him. And on the documentary, there was an author that wrote a book called The Feather Thief.
Yep.
And I bought it on eBay.
Hell yeah.
It's coming tomorrow, so I can't wait. So we
damn
just
it.
got totally sucked in this rabbit hole. And so while we're on that,
Yeah.
what else you got us from Page a Day?
Yeah,
man?
thanks, Page today. I've only got a couple today, but a couple of really cool ones. So, one of the ones they're talking about is DNA profiling. And of course, we bring that up a lot in our subjects, of course, because a lot of people get caught with DNA, and a lot of the older cases that we talk about that were linked, such as Albert DeSalvo, Boston Strangler.
Oh, yeah.
So, the first DNA case, the first time DNA was used in a court case, was in 1986. There was the rape and murder of a 15-year-old named Dawn Ashworth in Southwest Liechtenstein, and the police didn't know what was going on. But it also had similarities to a 1983 killing of a 15-year-old girl named Linda Mann. So there's a guy who confesses to the 1986 rape and murder of Dawn Ashworth, and it's a local teenager that has learning disabilities, and his name's Richard Buckland. But he insisted that he hadn't killed, Linda Mann.
Okay.
So police decide to contact DNA profiler and inventor Alec Jeffries. Alec Jeffries is the man who found DNA.
How to fucking
he
trace
fucking
it and shit.
used it on a fucking film, left it overnight, and it fucking turned into what's known as the case fucking print for DNA molecules. So they call this guy in to see if he could confirm if Buckland was the killer. So he tested semen that was found on both the victims as well as a blood sample from Buckland.
Right.
And he came to two conclusions, and he was like, okay, so Ashworth and Mann, both victims, they had been killed by the same man. But it wasn't this guy, Richard Buckland, who had confessed to the Dawn Ashworth homicide. So it wasn't him. He didn't do either one of them.
Wow.
And he confessed to one of them?
And he had confessed to one, but he was mentally challenged,
Right,
though. So
okay, yeah.
I don't know the whole specifics behind that case, but
Wow.
you never really know how much
Right.
pushing
Coercion,
by
if I could-
exactly. So anyway, so the call for DNA samples from men around that community, they eventually led to Colin Pitchfork. And that guy, Pitchfork, he had asked a coworker to give a DNA sample under his name originally.
Oh, damn.
Information got back to the police about it, so they went and saw him, got a real sample from him, which confirmed that he had killed both the girls.
Oh, wow.
He pleaded guilty 2 counts each of murder, rape, and indecent assault, and 1 count of conspiring to pervert the court of justice.
Right.
And he was sentenced to life in prison. So that was the first time
Wow.
DNA was ever used in
In
a case.
court.
Oh,
That's
wow,
fucking
that's
crazy.
cool.
And now it's
Yeah.
fucking huge.
Oh, it's
but-
Yeah, now it's like
everywhere.
a massive thing,
it's
like everything.
a necessary thing.
Yeah.
All right, so the second item that I got from Page a Day. So back in 1912, June 12th, there's a tiny town called Villisca, Iowa.
Oh yeah, Villisca.
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 So in the early hours, there was a businessman named Josiah Moore and his wife Sarah Montgomery. They have 4 young children and 2 house guests, and they were all bludgeoned to death with an axe.
We
which-
did Villisca. We did an
Yeah,
episode.
that was on
on
the
Villisca,
man
yeah.
on the train. Man from the train.
Man from
The train, yep.
Yeah.
So the axe that was used was Josiah's own axe.
Right.
He received the most blows, and he was so badly mutilated, the blade of the axe, he was missing both eyes. And then the blunt end was used on the rest of the victims. They found some cigarette butts in the attic, and, led to them thinking that the killer had been sitting up there in the attic. Traveling minister Reverend George Kelly, sexual predator with mental illness, was arrested for the crime, but was acquitted in 2 separate trials.
Right.
The murder remains unsolved. Like I said, you guys did it on the Man from
Yeah.
the Train episode.
Yeah, they name who they think it is, and they have pretty good convincing, especially the Villisca murders, because the swing of the axe, you use the blunt end, and so you get the sharp end going up.
Right.
And the kids were all in an attic
That was
style
short. Yeah, they were
with
saying he had
with
to
a
be
short
shorter on his
ceiling.
knees or some shit.
So he would have had to have been a real small guy, and the guy that they figured out it was a really
tiny.
small dude. But there's a lot more to it than just that he was a small guy. But that was one of many correlations they made where they pretty much think this guy, I think he was from the East Coast, made his way all the way across the United States
Right.
and multiple states, killing and just kind of hoboing it on the train and jumping on and off.
Go
And
listen to that episode.
It's
a
pretty
good one.
brutal. It's a good one, yeah.
They say on this that the house where the crime occurred is a museum that you can go.
Yeah, you
yeah.
can hunt. Well, I looked into renting it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like $400 for the night for
an
like
overnight?
8 people.
Yeah.
They've got a barn behind it with power. The house has no power. It's set up exactly as it was.
Yeah.
There's pictures of it online. You can look at it, but they have a barn out back with all the power. So when they do the ghost hunts and stuff there, they use that as like home base.
Right.
And then they send people out with the
Okay.
meters and shit like that inside.
Yeah.
The house is pretty small though. It's pretty tiny.
Right.
But it's cool. Yeah, they have at least they used to before the COVID.
Before the vid.
I don't know how they're doing it now, but they were doing them. It was like $400 for like 8 people for a night.
Huh, pretty
to
cool,
do it.
though.
Yeah, very cool. All right, well, that's Page a Day has just really been a
I love
nice
the
little
Page a Day,
source.
dude. That's a
of
good add-on. I
stuff.
love it, dude.
Yeah, it's a great one. So, all right, well, guys, we got a lot on our plate tonight. Headed down to the great state of Texas, doing a little gator pit action.
Fuck.
Hopefully, stay the fuck out of it.
Yeah, so let's get our fucking murder on and eat some gator.
Fuck yeah,
Fuck
man.
yeah, that new macabre shit, man.
Hell yeah, dude. How do we not play Joe Ball was his name from Macabre when we're talking about Joe Ball. I mean, seriously.
Right?
Gotcha. I mean, that album came out perfect timing.
It did, and we played a clip from it when it came out with the Ramirez song. I know we were all about that, man. That was that first video they did, right? I think from that.
Your window was open. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so we really dig those guys and love that song, and perfect to talk about the crazy story of Joe Ball, a legend from South Texas who ran a tavern in the 1930s, right after Prohibition.
Prohibition, my ass.
Well, he started it out before. Yeah, he was all about that. Story is he killed some women and fed them to the alligators he kept behind his bar as entertainment. He's known as the Alligator Man.
Not feeding the ladies to the alligators as entertainment. Had the alligators for entertainment.
Right.
He wasn't doing it in front of people like that.
Right.
But he did do some fucked up shit.
The Bluebeard of South Texas, that's a good one. But the more famous one, Joey, the Butcher of Elmendorf.
Yes.
As if Elmendorf was this huge place, there's like 600 people there.
What does Uncle say in that documentary? He's like, it's a big city, counting all the chickens and dogs.
Old Bucky Bell, or Bucky Ball.
Bucky Ball.
So it's a wild story. There are some discrepancies as to what really happened, and that's what happens with these legend type stories.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun, though. I mean, it's a dark subject, obviously, but we like to have a little fun. And this one is just rife with that shit. But, Chris, do you think a lot of our fans, our listeners that listen to us for the true crime stuff, do they know Joe Ball, or do you think he's more of an obscure one that not the run-of-the-mill would know?
I think he's kind of obscure, but, I mean, if you're a real fan, I mean, I honestly, personally didn't know about him until just within the last year or so, like, which isn't that short of a time, but
right.
I don't know. I think people don't really know about him as much as just because it's an older case,
right? And
like I said, the legend of it's just weird.
Yeah, I mean, it gets almost fantastical. Like, this can't be real.
Yeah.
Joey, is it the obvious thing that grabs your attention with this story?
Yeah, I mean, the possibility that somebody's feeding their victims to gators, of course.
Right. It's brutal.
Also, with this one, growing up watching, cult horror flicks my whole life, like Eaten Alive was
dude.
one I watched as a kid, and then you hear that was based on true stories, so of course you try to look it up, and as you'll tell, like, I mean, this was such an older case, there wasn't as much out there about it. A lot more was speculation and people's opinions, I guess, that created legend. But at the same time, as a young kid, if all you're seeing is talking about this dude who definitely killed some people and he definitely had gators, like, that's what your mind's putting together.
Sure. The gators definitely makes it sensational. And like you said, Eaten Alive, is based on it. Yeah. And we're going to talk about that for sure. Joe Ball was born in 1896 in San Antonio, Texas. Comes from, some fucked up stock. He was the great-great-grandson, I want to make sure I had that right, of John Crenshaw, who was this notorious figure from Southern Illinois, who was a notorious slave trader, kidnapper, general, just total piece of shit.
Like, he was the most ruthless of the ruthless.
Yeah.
Like, he was, they were talking like he would find freed slaves and, like, keep them.
Yeah, I remember
and enslave them or whatever.
Pretty bad dude. Joe Ball's father, Frank, was a well-known guy in the area. He basically put Elmendorf on the map. He operated several businesses, grocery store, 2 cotton gins that made him extremely wealthy.
When he brought the cotton gins down into there,
it was huge.
Let me go back to Illinois real fast. Because there was something else I forget. So at that time, slavery was technically illegal in Illinois territory.
Right.
So Crenshaw and these others, they operated a black market where slaves and free blacks were bought and sold and traded with the South. So he was running this operation. They tried to
human trafficking.
Right. They tried to prosecute him for his crimes twice, like the state authorities, but he got off on it both times. Now, I'd have to look more into this, but supposedly Crenshaw's house is still there, and it's nicknamed the Old Slave House, and it's reportedly haunted.
No shit.
Oh, wow. In Southern Illinois?
Yeah, I mean, that's some fucking... Which,
Yeah.
I can't remember what they said, Saline County.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's where
way
they said-
down there. I'd have to look, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely very far Southern Illinois.
You can... Oh, okay. They say you can find the Old Slave House in the small town of Equality, Illinois.
Oh, wow.
That's
Equality. That is the weirdest
Yeah,
name
that's a
for-
fucked up name
what
for a
the
racist
fuck?
motherfucker.
You know what I'm thinking though is like we go down to Full Terra and shit. Like if that's like somewhere anywhere near that,
Yeah,
we should
you
go
can
check
definitely
that out.
do that.
Make a
dude, hell
stop.
yeah.
Make a stop.
So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up since
No, that's cool.
part
man.
of this is. I mean, we're talking about this dude that's so fucked up, but this is definitely his genealogy.
Yeah.
fucked
is
up.
doing some shit like that. Now, his dad also got wealthy buying and selling farms during the Depression, where he was buying them for pennies on the dollar from the banks that were just eager to fucking get rid of it.
him.
Yeah.
And he was just cashing in once everything came back up. You know, he owned a lot of
You want to
farmland.
buy this here
so-
dirt farm?
right? But, you know, all he's got to do is, you know, hit the one Walmart that wants to come in there, and then he's like rolling, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Elmendorf is in South Texas, about the middle of the state, about 15 miles southeast of San Antonio, which is a really cool city. The town was thriving back in the day with a grocery store, hotel, and more. The Ball family had many prominent members in the town of Elmendorf, and now the sign outside the town shows 664 people.
Sons of bitches.
I mean, Chris,
Somebody
that's
just have
awfully
some twins
close.
or something, man.
I mean, come on.
Come on, dude.
I
You
mean,
couldn't
we
get it
should
to
move
666.
down there and bring it to 666.
Right. What
I
the
don't know,
fuck,
dude.
yeah.
That's fucked up. So you guys need to, like you said, have somebody have twins. Let's get that number up to
Get
666.
2 more chickens,
Come on,
goddamn it.
Two more motherfucking chickens.
grab that dog. Joe had a normal childhood, basically. They had money.
Yeah.
You know, it was said he was a hell of a shot. I love this. The nephew, Bucky Ball. What did he say, Joey?
Oh, he could shoot a fucking bird off a telephone line from the bumper of his Model A Ford.
I heard that over and over
I
again
did
with
too.
stuff I listened to about him.
Hell?
We'll talk about Bucky Ball a few times in this segment. Very cool dude.
What does that mean? Like off the bumper of your Model A Ford? Like, so you
Like,
standing on
yeah,
the
like
bumper?
standing on it or sitting on it, I guess. I don't know.
I'm trying to picture, like, watch, I'm going to stand on this bumper. I'm
Right.
going to shoot that bird.
I'm guessing like with
Probably
one foot propped up or sitting on it. You know,
Sitting on your hood with your feet on the
Right?
bumper.
Right? But
Yeah.
still, it just sounds funny.
it is funny. So anyway, we'll talk about him, and I think he inspired the Buck character in the horror classic Eaten Alive.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll talk about that later too. Joe volunteered to join the Army during World War I in 1917, and some say it really changed him. I heard that quite a bit,
Yeah.
Chris, with this one.
Yeah, I did too. Like, his mind wasn't right. But obviously,
Yeah.
it's World War One.
Seen some awful shit. Trench warfare. I mean,
he was in there for a
brutal,
minute,
man.
too,
Chemical
so.
warfare, brutal. He gets out in 1919, a totally different person, some would say. Bucky would say later that he felt that that was the reason for the uncle's, you know, odd and crazy behavior.
Like I said, it makes sense. They didn't have like therapy or anything
Yeah.
like that for people coming back from
Right.
the war back then. It was just like, oh, shell shock. He's fucked up. Fuck him,
Yeah.
whatever.
And I mean,
basically.
think about now how much veteran suicide is out there, and that's with the help. Could you
Right.
imagine what it would have been like this day where
Right.
There's nobody there to help. They didn't have no idea.
You know, you're just basically dealing with the shit on your own. And that's awful. Joe started out bootlegging, doing some prohibition alcohol sales, Chris,
Shit. Yeah, man.
out of the back of his truck, making a nice fucking pile of dough. His father, you know, had good business sense, and so did he, but in a little bit of a different way. And he was had this guy that he hired that was kind of like a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Drove him around, did a lot of his manual
Did more
work.
than that.
Yeah. Clifford Wheeler. And, you know, like you said, Chris, did he just do that kind of stuff? But he admitted to doing some pretty nasty
Yes, he
shit.
did.
Joe was rumored to get drunk and shoot Clifford's feet to make him dance. So that's pretty fucked up.
Dude, all I picture is like the fucking old westerns.
Right.
Come on, partner, dance. Fucking, yeah, that's all I picture. I'm sure that's what it was like,
Oh,
too.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Like, oh, my God, dude.
But the legend grows with this
Right.
guy, right?
And you're definitely going to hear a lot more about Clifford Wheeler in this
Oh,
one.
yeah, big time. Now, after Prohibition, Joe bought some land and opened up his own bar called the Sociable Inn. I like that. That'd be a good T-shirt to get.
It
A
would be.
Sociable
That would
Inn
be a
T-shirt.
badass
We should do a
t-shirt.
commercial for that, too.
That would be great. Let's.
Great idea, bro. Hell yeah.
Joe had a reputation as being a bad motherfucker you did not want to mess with. He always hired young, attractive barmaids to bring in the male customers, and many of the people in town were very fucking afraid of him. A lot of stories about
Said
that.
he could tell the girls were not from town when getting off the bus and shit because they're looking around and shit. But
Right.
if it was somebody that
Those
knew
were the
town-
ones to go
yeah,
talk
that's where
to.
he went to talk to. It was somebody that obviously knew the town. They get off the bus, go directly where they want to go.
Right.
So he just like that one right there. Boom.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely he had a way to bring him in, and like you said, from out of town, not knowing what there's what they're gonna do, and here he is. Hey, I can get you a job right now
At
And
my
so-
bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now his big attraction was the pond that he built out behind the bar with the 6 alligators
Fuck
in
yeah.
it. Now, I read a few accounts that they like put these lines out and the alligator twists.
That was pretty gnarly because
Yeah.
they go in the death roll and basically fucking wrap themselves up.
Right.
I was like,
so they
that's
just
pretty
keep
cool.
reeling themselves in till they're like up against the tree.
Yeah, they
and
tie
then-
him to a tree and then
Yeah,
they
like-
fucking lasso their
Wow.
fucking mouth and they roll themselves.
That's
Man,
fucking
could you
nuts,
imagine
dude.
being the motherfucker that's got to go do that? I
I'll
mean,
tell you
that'd
what,
be fucking crazy.
I would
too.
rather catch him that way than fucking jump on him and try to fucking wrestle
Oh
him.
my god!
Hell yeah.
Steve,
Let him fucking
Steve
do-
Irwin with them crocodiles.
Yeah, Steve Irwin would be on like, oh, I got 5 log crikey right there. Fuck.
Oh man! Now alligators apparently were common in the San Antonio River, which I didn't realize that in Texas they had them. So yeah, this is not a an unusual thing.
And they said fucking, I mean, they had, because it's not like the most common animal to that territory,
No.
but at that time they had so many seasons of flooding that it had created a huge fucking water basin.
Right.
They like the still water.
When I lived in Texas, fucking, I might have already told the story about care. Fucking, when I lived there, I lived in Sherman, Texas, which is like northeast corner, so it's fucking super inland and shit. So you're not seeing shit like other Texas has. It's basically like around here, you know what I'm saying, like
Right.
geographically. But where I lived, I remember all of a sudden, fucking some farmer's pond, there was a fucking gator in it, and it was like fucking 3 days or something. And they were like
Oh my
hunting it
God.
with chicken, and they got the
Yeah.
gator out. And it was, I mean, 6-foot gator, it's not fucking huge, but I don't give a shit, you know?
Oh,
like,
that's
I
fucking
was like,
scary,
I
dude.
never thought that animal would be up where I was at. So I've been in these waters and shit, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. So anyway, they said that the same thing, that there had been, especially from Katrina, so much fucked up flooding
wow.
and all that the alligator had probably hot ponds all the way up there.
Oh my god!
So yeah, just no. They're talking about him, so that's how he kept. I don't know if he ever had like the 6 same gators. He probably like had a
I'm
couple
not
different
sure.
ones.
I'm not sure. I know that they said he had 6 of them
Yeah,
in this little
yeah.
pond. And he would charge people to watch him feed the gators, which was usually cats,
Dude, that's so
dogs,
fucked. Like they just stray cats and dogs off the
raccoons,
street,
fucking squirrels, whatever.
just toss them in there live, and motherfuckers are paying for this, going, yeah, fuck
Right?
yeah, dude.
That's just fucked
crazy.
up, man.
I read a couple accounts. They said Elton Cood Jr., whose father was a Bexon County deputy sheriff,
Right.
and he helped investigate
Yeah.
Ball and later wrote the book The Wild and Free Dukedom of Bexar.
yeah.
So he said it was common knowledge every Saturday night a drunken orgy occurred.
Yeah.
Any wild animal, possum, cat, dog, or other animal without an owner helped make the show a little better. Get drunk, throw an animal in, and watch the alligators, he wrote in the book. And then
Wow.
another account was found in a San Antonio public library where it said the squalling kitten flopped into the pool. A big alligator lifted its jaws, closed like a vice, and the screaming cat was bitten in half. There's more to come, my pets, Big Joe Ball shouted as the drink-crazed crowd roared in appreciation, and then he tossed in a puppy into the bloody pool.
God damn, bro.
That's some brutal shit.
Yeah, so I mean, no matter whatever's true about this story, there was definitely brutal shit going on.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh man, I mean, it becomes local legend, and that's why this story got so sensationalized, because of the whole tie-in with the Gators and, you know, these wild fucking parties, people throwing fucking animals into this fucking pit. I mean, this is just nuts. Now, Joey, once we get to this part of the story, the alligators definitely had a unique slant to true crime. I mean, we're laughing about it because it's this crazy attraction, but you know, if he only killed a couple former girlfriends, we probably wouldn't even know who Joe Ball is.
No, truly, and especially like an old tale down in the fucking South, like that shit sometimes happened. You know what I'm saying? So nobody would have fucking paid attention.
Right.
The fact that you can attach the gator pond and the speculation.
Right.
Because, I mean, who the fuck knows? Because they say he may have had up to 20 victims.
Right.
I have no idea where any of those numbers are coming from. It was just based on his logs of girls that he had.
Well, there were so many of them that were legitimately missing. They did. We'll get to it. They found a couple, but there were still others. Remember, a man, too.
Yeah, remember Bucky Ball was talking about his uncle, you know, would just watch people coming into town, and he could see by the way that they got off a bus if they knew exactly where they were going, or if they were looking around trying to figure out where they were at.
Right.
That's how you're like, okay, this motherfucker has no idea what's going on, so go approach them. Oh, I can get you a job. So, yeah, he had a perfect fucking operation going for luring these people in, and he could have been killing them and defeating them to the gator. I mean, if he enjoys feeding other shit to the gators, why not feed a human, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but the only thing is, you know, we'll get to it, but after they fucking closed the case and they searched the whole gator pit, like they didn't find any kind of...
Right.
No, not at all.
Right.
But who knows in today's climate with DNA and stuff.
Of course.
What you could have found.
Of course.
But
yeah, because we're talking 1938.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, Joe met Minnie Goddard, known as Big Minnie, 1934.
Every bitch in this story, every female, but they all have nicknames. It's awesome.
They do. So Big Minnie in 1934,
Minnie.
she meets Joe. Lucky day. His friends did not like her, but he didn't care, and she helped him run the bar for almost 3 years. Before Joe begins having an affair with one of the young barmaids, another nickname, Dolores Buddy Goodwin.
Like,
what the fuck? And they keep referring to him by the nicknames, and it's like I had to keep using their names because I couldn't do it. But Buddy Goodwin, despite the fact that Joe once threw a bottle at her, leaving a scar from her eye to her neck, but she was in love with Joe Ball.
Hey, she came back and said that, like, no, he wasn't throwing it at me. He was throwing it at another guy. And he just was off aim.
I mean, holy fuck, though, coming out of the Depression,
eye to the neck, dude.
This guy has a business and everything else. So, but from all accounts, the dude's ugly as shit. There's only one picture of him.
Right.
But, from all accounts, he wasn't an attractive dude, but
he had that money back in the day.
And
Yeah.
you got money, and people didn't have money
Yeah,
then.
a business.
So,
Yeah, for sure. So Buddy's, getting bottles thrown at her. She's in love with this fool. Very soon after, 1937, Hazel is Shotzi Brown begins working there. She's only 22, and apparently Shotzi is sweetheart in German.
Yeah.
So, Shotzi Brown. So this story is just rife with these great names.
Yeah.
So Joe falls in love with Shotzi, and he starts a fucking train wreck of a workplace because he's messing around with 3 different women that work at this little tiny bar. I mean, Chris, did you see the fucking pictures of this place? It looks like a shack.
Oh yeah, it's
So
like
I mean, it's a small, it's like the size of this garage. So he's working with 3 women. He's messing around with them.
They'll never know, dude. They'll never know.
Oh my god, sounds like a mess in fucking progress.
Oh my god,
Chris,
dude.
not a good idea to date people typically at work, but in a bar that's the size of a tool shed.
Not 3 of them at the same
3,
time,
no.
for sure. Definitely not.
No,
the best
you're
plan.
just waiting to or wishing to get like a.
I mean,
car keyed,
if all four of y'all are
ice
cool
pick.
with it, whatever. But if
Yeah.
you're trying to hide it, don't do it, dude.
No, not a good idea. Now the summer.
I don't know from experience. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do it. It's stupid.
Yeah, big time. Summer of 1937 is when Minnie is turning up missing. Joe said she gave birth to a black baby and left town.
He was
This is
like,
fucked
nobody's going to ask questions if I say that because nobody
Right.
wants to talk
nobody
about
will.
that.
up.
Exactly. They're
Yeah,
like, oh, she's gone.
1937,
Yeah.
you know.
They're like,
not
oh,
going to go.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
A few months later, Joe married Dolores and confided in her that Minnie didn't run off, but instead he took her to a beach and shot her in the head. He told her that he made Clifford Wheeler help bury the body in the sand, but Dolores does not believe him. So
I saw something else too, but I don't know. Maybe it was just one spot. And with this story, there's so much, infrequent true facts, of course, but that she was pregnant with his kid,
right.
and that's why he killed her.
Right.
But I don't know if that was ever true, and I don't know if they ever substantiated that with an autopsy or anything like that.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that either. I wondered the
or
same
or if
thing.
he was just tired
Part
of
of
her.
the legend, you know.
Right, or if he was just tired of her and he
Sure.
was more interested in these other girls, so he's like, okay, well, I'll get rid of this one.
Right.
Which could have been the case. But
Yeah,
I'm sure that was.
yeah. But also, yeah, if she got pregnant, he might have been like, fuck that, I ain't putting up with no kid.
exactly.
Feed it
Exactly.
to the gator.
Feed it to the gate. Just go have birth in the birthing pool over there.
Oh, don't mind him. Oh, then her. Yeah.
If we do Joe Ball's fucking, whatever his
Sociable.
sociable end, if we do a commercial, we'll have to bring up the fucking
The
the
birthing
birthing
pool.
pool, the gator birthing pool.
Like a spa.
Yeah.
Spa treatment. Oh, Jesus.
We're writing this as you listen.
That's right.
Yes, we
A
are.
few months later, Joe marries Dolores. I'm getting confused.
Bucky Ball.
Yeah. And confided in her that Minnie didn't run off.
Oh no, I'm sorry, not Buddy Ball now. Dolores is now Buddy Ball.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. Bucky Ball is the nephew. Buddy Ball is
Buddy
now.
Ball is now.
That sounds like a bad infomercial. Buddy Ball.
Yeah, I agree. Stick
Oh,
with
my
Dolores
God.
on that.
Yeah,
one.
I know. That's why I could. I could.
Buddy Ball. That's my husband, or wife, Buddy Ball.
Oh, my God. This is just such a crazy story. It's so ridiculous. Dolores just is not believing any of this shit. Now,
Yeah.
Dolores,
She gets in an accident.
she gets in a bad accident.
She's trying to fucking sign out because that's how you told
Yeah,
people you
right.
turned back
Hand
then.
signals.
Right.
Yeah.
And this truck fucking goes by carrying a wide load of cedar planks and fucking just wipes her arm off.
But the way Bucky said it just fell off.
That's what he said, yeah. It was just gone.
It's gone.
Just
It
fall
fell
off.
off.
Yeah.
The rumors got around though that no. The gator ripped her fucking arm off.
Right,
Everybody's
yeah.
throwing the rumors
Yeah.
like, no, that was a gator fucking tore
Yeah,
her
that
arm
would be
off.
the perfect rumor,
dude,
you know?
dude, that builds to the legend. Dude.
Oh, yeah. So Dolores is unfortunately left with just one arm, and of course, that's where all the rumors come in. And I wonder if that's where Toby Hooper got the idea for the innkeeper on Eaten Alive having his leg bitten off as part of the story.
Until I was reading the notes, I had never put that together in my mind. But yeah, that's
Oh,
probably
okay.
exactly where he came up with that, I would almost bet.
Yeah.
It made for a funny part later on, whenever it's like,
Right.
But no, I think,
Yeah.
yeah, in hindsight, after looking over the whole case again, I think you're right. That's probably where he got it.
Now, Joey, it sounds like all kinds of crazy shit is going on in Joe Ball's life, but his nephew, Bucky, would stand up for him no matter what.
Yeah.
There were the stories of Joe's siblings trying to cash in on his fame. And what do you think? I mean, Bucky definitely seems to be a family kind of guy and just didn't like people talking shit about his uncle.
And
man.
whenever he was around he was so fucking young. Like, he was a fucking toddler.
Right.
Yeah.
Young kid whenever Joe Ball was like, he was alive to see like the inn or whatever, but the sociable inn. But anyway, so basically he probably grew up hearing all that bullshit almost from his teens on, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
With the fucking with exposure and just hearing all this shit, but he was talking about people who would send him, like the True Detective magazines, things like that.
Yeah, that
like,
guy
hey,
was in
they
the
wrote
army
a story
with-
about your uncle,
Right.
But
Yeah.
it was always the case with that Gators and shit.
Yeah.
So he was real big on, what I'm saying, like Chris was saying, like, hey, say whatever the fuck you want about me. You can talk about me. Well, he was really polite, actually. So he didn't
he's
say
like, I'd
fuck.
rather you cuss me out than talk about my town or talk about my uncle.
Yep.
Fucking
Right.
he's just like, just cuss me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also said that one story. Somebody brought this magazine. It'd be funny if you were relate like this when he was in college or
because
whatever.
the last name.
No, he was in the
Yeah,
army.
yeah, he was in the army. That's what it was, yeah.
His buddy in the army, his mom sent
Sent him a
Bucky or
Bucky's
Bucky,
friend.
Yeah.
and thought this is funny because your last name is Ball, and he's like, this is actually
that's
is
my uncle,
family.
dude.
Yeah.
I'm sure she was probably like jaw dropped, like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, it was
My
a
bad.
joke, So yeah, this guy had been, defending this all his life, and it showed that he was just kind of sick of it, and like, hey, like leave him alone, it's enough. The story has just gotten way out of hand.
Right.
Now Dolores, she turns up missing, and so did Hazel. Rumors are going around that Joe killed the women and fed them to the alligators. A neighbor once complained about the smell of rotting meat in the alligator pond. And Joe was very protective of the gators and threatened the guy with a gun, telling him to basically fuck off, and said, you better keep your mouth shut or I'm going to feed you to the gators. So I'm sure that went over real well. The neighbor moved away.
To a different
good
city.
idea.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck this dude. I also read that one citizen said the women were all whores.
Right.
And they moved on like whores do.
That's real nice, dude. Real fucking nice.
Yeah, that's just fucked up. So, it's just some of the stupidity that went on in that era,
Yeah.
Now, Minnie's family continued to ask questions about her, but she was still missing. They went to Bexar County Sheriff's Office and asking about Joe Ball's possible involvement, since they knew he was her boyfriend at the time. They talked to Joe, but nothing is done. Of course, town of that size, you got the whole good old boy, is the Ball family. They're all involved in politics and teachers and postmasters and all this other stuff.
And more than anything else, they had no corpse.
Right.
Yeah, there was no way to do anything about it.
So they really didn't push him too hard about it at that time, but, they really didn't have anything to go on. And Chris, I don't think I would want to fuck with some dude with a temper like this with an alligator pond behind his bar.
That's fucking sketchy, man. Like,
Yeah.
especially the stories that are going around already. If you got that in your fucking head that, oh, this dude's going to kill me time and throw me in, I'm going to get eaten by gators.
Right.
Like, it kind of shies you away from fucking confrontation with the person, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, especially in 1930s Texas.
Yeah.
In the middle of fucking nowhere.
In a town
in
full
this little town that your whole
town
family
with
runs.
666 people.
Yeah.
And it's about, he's just going to feed them all to the gators. Fuck it.
Now, another woman, Julia Turner, she turns up missing. Her family went to the police, knowing that she had also worked part-time at the bar. The cops went to Joe again, but Joe told them that, she said that she was having some personal issues and moved away. And then the cops went to Julia's apartment, spoke with her roommate, and she said Julia didn't come to take any of her stuff, which obviously, Chris, is going to draw suspicion.
Yeah, if you're going somewhere, you're taking
at least your personal things.
Right.
And she didn't take anything. So the cops go back to talk to Ball. Now he changes his story, and he's telling them that he lent her $500, but he never saw her again.
I just didn't want to look like a fool.
Right.
I gave her money. She said she'd bring it back. She didn't bring it back.
Right. So then 2 more of Joe's former employees turned up missing. I couldn't find any details on those. The police brought Joe in for questioning again, or he's brought in this time, and he was let go due to lack of evidence. So they really don't have anything on him. September 1938, a former neighbor told the cops that he witnessed Joe cut the meat from a human body and feed it to the
gators,
alligators.
yeah.
Yeah, so
It's so hard to tell though, because I saw that too, and it's like, okay, at that time, man, you're trying to get your name out there, like
Right.
a little publicity, like,
Right,
oh,
because
guess
it's
what
after
I saw.
Sure.
after the
And there's
whole.
been tons of cases of that shit happening, and back then it was probably easier to run with it, like, oh, no shit.
Right.
Or nowadays
Harder.
they would investigate and be like, or fuck, it's probably on video now, everything, but
right. That's true.
but no, back then, like, yeah, somebody could definitely have been like, oh, this is where I can get fucking in on the story or whatever.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying possible.
Right, right. Another person told the cops about a foul-smelling barrel covered with flies. That doesn't
Yeah.
sound good, Chris.
No, not at all.
Joe left this behind his sister's barn. It smelled like, quote, something was dead inside.
Yeah, and it's
unquote.
funny because Joe's sister said, "Yeah, no, that's what
Yeah.
it fucking smelled like."
Yeah, she threw him under the bus. She's like,
I
no.
didn't cover
Yeah.
it for you. I don't know what was in that. I know it reeked of death.
Right.
I'm not covering for you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Now, Joey, the cops go there the next day. The barrel's gone. I wonder why they waited a day to go back and
It
get
is
it.
weird as fuck.
I wonder who
only-
got rid of it.
The only thing I was wondering is possibility, like,
They tipped him off and said, you better go get rid of that barrel.
well, I'm saying for them not going to check it out, the only reason I could think was if it was getting late, and back then with no lights and stuff,
True.
they just would do things in the morning.
Yeah, that would
We've
make
seen
sense.
that a couple times, like with a couple of the stories we checked
Yeah.
out. But anyway, with him, like, I mean, I would say probably Clifford Wheeler moved it. If anybody did it,
Well, he talks about it that they did go get it, and that's when
Right.
they hacked it up and stuff. We'll get to that. but
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely agree that that's probably what happened with it. But yeah, you're right. Like, why'd the cops wait all that time?
you almost wonder in a small town, did somebody go tell somebody, hey, you better go let him know whatever's in that fucking
Yeah,
barrel. You better
yeah.
get rid of that shit, man, you know?
Yeah.
And then, conveniently they go there the next morning and it's gone.
I mean,
you know?
she could have been blowing up at him and been like, I'm going to tell him right now this motherfucker's here or whatever, and left. And that's whenever he turned right around and walked outside and like, okay, well, then we'll move it.
Right. Exactly. So, deputies went back to the bar to bring Joe in for questioning. Things are starting to add up. They told Joe they had to bring him in, but Joe asked if he could shut the bar down first. And so they sat at the bar and waited for him. He drank a beer. Chris just slammed it down.
Yeah, and then he's when he opens the cash register to close out, happens to have a 45 revolver.
Right.
Fucking turns around, points it at his own heart, and just like blasts through his fucking chest.
Yeah.
And what was his uncle Bucky? What was he saying? Like he turned himself so it didn't go through him and shoot the cop because he was his friend or whatever.
Yeah, the cops were friends of his
Yeah.
that he hunted with and stuff, and so he didn't want to kill them, so he turned around and faced them and then shot himself in the heart so that it would go into
He
the
knew
wall.
that gun was strong enough; it would have gone through both of them.
Yeah, it's a 45. So, yeah, so that's the that's the story, and then there's some others that say that he shot himself in the head. In either case, he died. He fell to the floor dead, and that was obviously the way it ended. Police from all over the place searched that bar as more missing person cases popped up. Even a young man who was known to frequent the tavern. They found an axe with blood matted on it and lots of rotting meat around the gator pond. They bring in Clifford Wheeler, Chris, and he's like the linchpin here. I mean, he knows a lot.
Yeah.
He literally knows where the bodies are
Like we
buried.
said, he like we said earlier,
He helped.
He helped more than just driving around.
Right.
Yard work and
yeah,
shit.
like
he did
Joey
yard work.
said, once you start learning more about Clifford Wheeler, there's a lot more that he was involved with that, on the surface, he's just the driver and the guy that, does the dirty work, so to speak. But, how far the dirty work went, obviously went, much further than anybody would have thought. So they bring him in, and initially he denies anything, but he starts changing his story. And he tells the cops that Hazel had met another man, and Joe didn't want to let her go, so he killed her. Wheeler also said that she accused Joe of killing Minnie, and that's why he flew off the handle. And I read something, I think, where he pistol whipped her to death. I believe so. So, brutal stuff. Chris, the story that Clifford Wheeler told them about how they get rid of Hazel is absolutely fucking brutal.
Well, that's who they went out. They went out.
Right.
He told them where to dig, and they dug up, and they found her arms and legs and her torso, but not her head.
Like 3 miles outside of Elmendorf.
Right. Yeah. And they asked where her head was. And he pointed at a campfire that was like an old campfire spot.
Right.
And so they dug through there and ended up finding jawbone, teeth, skull fragments, everything. So they crushed her head, and that's not cool, man.
Yeah, that's really fucked up, man.
I saw something else too, where they had found on top of the head was like an old shirt or some kind of thing where he had tried to burn it.
Right.
To get rid of it.
Right. Yeah, he tried. I mean, it was kind of sloppily done, obviously.
Sloppily butchered.
But Clifford took him right to the spot. They said the smell was absolutely atrocious, and they had to get drunk so they could fucking dismember that body with the hacksaw, man. That's just oof. Definitely brutal. And then when they asked Clifford about...
people standing by watching it, and the smell was so bad that there's like the crowd that was there looking at this behind the police tape, so to speak.
Yeah, they were like throwing up.
They were like puking because it was so bad. Like, I thought it was weird because they kept saying like the blood was bubbling up from the ground. I'm like, wait, what the hell? How does that happen?
Yeah, I don't know if they were just at that certain stage of decomposition where they were like bloating and just, I don't know. It was just weird. Fucked up.
Lard acid created an ultimate barfarama.
Fuck yeah, stand by me, baby.
So they asked Clifford about Minnie, and he tells the police that Joe took her to Inglewood, not California, but a town by Corpus Christi.
South Central.
And got her drunk and shot her in the head.
Right.
And that was the story that he told with one of the others. I can't remember. That's she didn't believe him.
Right.
Joe said that she told him she was pregnant. He didn't want her to cause problems for him with Dolores. So I mean, he's just trying to juggle this shit, and it ain't working. Clifford told them that he helped Joe bury her in the sand. When they dug up the area that Clifford told him to, they find her 15 feet down, covered in a sand
Which
dune.
you got to think which is probably pretty close. They probably dug about a 6-foot fucking dip or a hole,
right?
Covered her, and by the time they find her, she's 15 feet down. So that's how much fucking sand is washing up on this duned area,
right? Yeah, I mean, if that would have gone too much longer, they probably never would have found her.
Yeah, which also because they had done that, she was really well preserved. They said,
right, dried,
right?
Yeah,
that's interesting. So yeah, I mean, they find her 15 feet down. Clifford was asked about the other missing women, but of course he denies anything else. Joey, do you think that Joe was involved in murdering more than Hazel and Minnie? I mean, earlier you said there are some accounts people think it could be as many as 20, but what do you think?
I mean, I'm not going to put it past him that he was involved in anything else. He probably was, because just the way that he lived his life. I mean, he, I don't know, the war changing him the way that it did from all accounts from everyone else. And he probably was involved in a lot of, brutal situations over there, and coming back, it wasn't shit to him, I'm sure.
Right.
And like I said, living the lifestyle he did, he was constantly around hookers and I'm sure drugs and booze and
I thought I saw somewhere too that somebody thought he was dealing narcotics.
Oh, I'm sure he was.
I did see something about that.
If you got a hot spot hooker bar down in fucking South Texas, I'm sure you're fucking in that.
Yeah, you got something.
Yeah, he was involved in lots of things, and I agree. I wouldn't put it past him either. He just seemed like he didn't really have a whole lot of regard for anything being legal or not. No. It's just like, whatever's going to make me money and I'm going to have some fun doing it, then fuck it, The police find a scrapbook back at the Sociable Inn that Joe kept with pictures of at least a dozen women, and they suspected that Joe was involved with more than the two murders, but, they just couldn't prove it. Oddly, I read that Joe believed that without a body, it was impossible for a person to be found guilty of murder. So that was always his thing,
Right.
which
So it's
makes you wonder
the
about
gator
having
thing,
a gator
like,
pit.
yeah.
You know? It kind of adds up. It's like Holmes having the giant furnace built in the basement.
Like, I wonder what you're doing with that.
Right.
The way I look at it, though, is what changed, though, if he had done that and successfully fucking disposed of full bodies with his gators, why did he not do that with the other ones?
Right.
That
Why
they
would you
were-
bury
that they could go find? Why would you dismember them and you
do
know,
all that? The barrel.
unless you just really wanted to do that, and that's fine. But they say with serial killer, very rarely will they change an MO like that.
Right.
If you got an MO with some fucking gators, you're fucking
Yeah,
got
you're
an
set to
advantage.
go. Like,
So,
fucking, I mean,
it's hard to
unless,
Yeah.
Unless for some reason he decided now he wants to start revisiting the fucking
Right. And that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. There's
it's
always
possible.
possibilities and situations that, you know.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he was messed up from the war, I mean, God only knows what was going on
He
in his
just
head.
said, "Fuck it, this small town's mine."
Right?
Right.
Yeah, just
It's
basically
like
fuck
Ken
it.
McElroy, but fucking murderous too.
Right.
Not the one getting killed.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just a crazy, crazy story. I don't know, what you believe, whether it's the 2 or, upwards of 20, but like with stories like this, it just leaves the table wide open for all sorts of sensational stories back at a time when the True Detective magazines were a thing, comics
And all the Pulp Fiction shit.
yeah, the Pulp Fiction stuff, and then spawning, the ideas for, like you said, the movie. It's really, really like the perfect story for something like that. And until that newspaper editor, Michael Hall, in 2002, we've referenced his article. It's fantastic in the Texas Monthly. That's the one to read if you're interested in this story. But until that guy, Michael Hall, stumbled on these facts and put it all together, we wouldn't nearly have the detail that we have here night right now. Because the documentaries are very broad, they're very vague, very similar to legend type stories, and you don't know how much of it's made up, but he pulls a lot of the facts together.
And that's why you can't even get mad at Tobe Hooper for what he did with Eaten Alive, because he didn't have nearly any of the information like we have now. So he was going almost solely off of
the story
the
itself.
newspaper
Yeah.
articles. Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, he used genius to use real life accounts to create fiction.
Yes.
I mean, it's been done so many times. Psycho,
Yep.
with
Ed Gein.
the Ed Gein story.
with
And
Ed
then you-
Gein again with Texas Chainsaw, also by Tobe Hooper.
Right.
Both
And
his
the-
first 2 movies
and
were
the
basically-
Texas Chainsaw.
basically based on serial killers.
Right. And then this, with the Joe Ball story. So, and he's from Texas.
Yes.
Tobe Hooper's a Texan from Austin. So, it just kind of works, perfectly for, the whole situation. Now, Chris, Joe sounds like he was quite the life of the party. I don't know. How would he have done at Shawback Nation?
I don't got no gators. I got a zombie dog. I don't know if I could have handled Joe at the Nation. Trying to take all the ladies and kill them.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Joe would have probably got his ass whipped maybe by the Shawbacks. Collectively, you guys would have beat his ass.
Oh, it would have happened.
Or it might have been the best friend.
That's very likely.
You never know.
Could have chilled him out, man.
That's
Could have
very
chilled
likely.
him the fuck out. man.
Maybe I fucking could have killed some bitches too.
Now, Dolores, she turns up in San Diego claiming she left Texas to start a new life. She would tell the police, newspaper reporters, that Joe was a sweet man and he only killed 2 women. That's nice. The police also find one other missing woman in Phoenix. So at least those 2 got away from fucking Joe Ball's craziness. After they examined the rotting meat, as you said, Joey, they determined none of it was human.
Right.
But again, we're talking 1930s.
True.
Don't know how well they're really checking anything.
And with the murders, that would have came beforehand, most of that evidence would all have been gone regardless.
You would assume either
They
been
found
cleaned up or they would have eaten it.
They found the most recent of his victims.
Right.
So that's what makes you speculate, if there was really any
He might have
others.
started out that way and then
Yeah.
changed for some reason. After he got out, so Clifford winds up, he does a plea agreement. In 1939, and he, pleads guilty to helping Joe get rid of 2 of the bodies, and he's sentenced to only 2 years. And after he gets out, he opens up a bar, Chris.
Yeah, that was funny. I thought it was like, let me try this shit.
Yeah. I didn't know what his bar was called. I don't know if he kept it the sociable.
Actually, I
or-
think I heard it. I think I heard it actually didn't last, which understandable.
No, because people were fucking with him about the case
Yeah.
and constantly want to talk about it. And he just couldn't get away from the newspaper
Yeah,
reporters.
so he's just like, all right, I'm out.
He
Fuck
fucked up. He should have fucking gimmicked it out.
Exactly,
Oh,
bro.
for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
He'd have been bowling right now.
Yeah, he could have been like doing an Ed Gein's card type deal. You know? After he gets out, he doesn't have a go, so he's off somewhere else. Hopefully, he had made himself, got his act together. The alligators are put in the zoo in San Diego and live
San
out their
Antonio.
lives. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you
Thank
said
you.
that.
I did
remember
say
I used
San
to do that
Diego.
shit the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
San Antonio. Thank you, Joey. The San Antonio Zoo, and they live out their lives as a tourist attraction. So that's not a bad way, Joey, to tie up some loose ends.
No.
I mean, kind of almost like a storied, like you wrote, to
Yeah.
kind of tie it all together. The only thing it's missing, though, is the prison interview with Stone Phillips.
That
That would
would've
have
been
been
classic.
awesome. Joe Ball
Yeah.
and Geraldo or some shit.
It being such an old ass case, like I said, there was only one picture of Joe Ball.
Right.
There was no
Standing there in one of those old time
The
bathing
old
suits
with a
suits,
little
yeah.
fucking
Like a
bottle of
flask or
whiskey or
something,
something. Dude, it was so cool. But yeah, like there's no audio of him or anything like that. So yeah, any
Yeah.
kind of interview would have been probably pretty neato with Joe Ball.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wonder what he would sound like. I guess
Right.
with the southern drawl, with being down in South Texas like
Yeah.
that. Oh man, that would have been great. So as we mentioned, Toby Hooper's of course behind the classic Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Eaten Alive, and it is kind of cool. We just watched it on Friday. And I know you guys just did too, right?
Yeah, I mean, Cashman, I had never seen it, but obviously Cashman had seen it before. But
I was
thought it
like,
was
fuck
pretty
that.
hot.
We're going to watch
Yeah,
this.
it's
Yeah,
cool.
right, yeah.
It's
He's like,
cool.
dude, fuck it. We watch it.
Yeah, and it's
Because we
this
were watching
creepy
Married.
dude.
We've been watching Married with Children. He's like, I was like, did you bring Married with Children with you? He's like, I did. No, I didn't, but I brought this. So I'm like,
Nice.
oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was cool. But, this creepy guy runs the hotel and he's got the crocodile on the property. But they do make a point to say it's a crocodile, not
And
an
not an
alligator.
Yeah,
alligator.
he said
Yeah.
it was imported.
Yeah, an imported crocodile from Africa. And I did look up, because I've seen this before, but I just couldn't remember what it was, the difference between an alligator and a crocodile.
The snout's the biggest
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, the snout on the alligator is more rounded, but it has stronger jaws.
Yeah.
The crocs are more aggressive and more apt to go after humans. So,
Right.
And also, they usually get a little bigger crocodiles than alligators. But fuck, dude, them alligators, though, they're still fucking big.
Oh,
dude.
they're
yeah,
big.
they're friggin' humongous. But well worth checking out, even if you just watch it to see Robert England as a
Yeah.
much younger
Dude,
guy
he's
as
so
Buck.
young, man.
Yeah, it's really great.
My name's Buck, and I'm raring to fuck.
Yeah, that's how the movie opens up.
Yeah, so good.
He gets fed to the Gators too, and so that's cool though. Toby Hooper being from Texas, using real life stories, and he also I didn't realize he did Poltergeist.
Yeah.
And the TV series of Stephen King's Salem's Lot, which I don't know if I've ever seen that. I love the movie, and it's one of my favorite Stephen King books, Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a vampire story person, I'm just not big on that.
Right.
I really, really like the way Stephen
I'm
King
the
did
same
it.
way.
I think
really,
it was
really love that
fantastic.
book. Very
Yeah.
good.
So anyway, you guys watched it, so you guys liked it too.
Oh,
It's just
hell
like
yeah.
a classic.
Yeah.
old 70s horror flick, you know.
Yeah, as far as horror
badass.
genre goes, it's one of the tops for me. I fucking love it. Like
Yeah.
everything about it's just a good horror movie.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird as shit from the 70s, psychedelic, and
Totally. Got a little TNA in there too,
Yeah.
you know. I saw Bucky Ball interviewed on that one documentary I watched that he talked about when he was in the Army, and we referenced this about the friend sending the comic book, so I'm sure that would be weird, you know, like
Yeah.
you're trying to like make your own way and kind of get away from all that craziness.
Right.
And you're in the, you know, military, and he's in, you know, World War II's going on, so that's got to be kind of scary with all the shit that was going down. And so, you know, he's probably tired of, you know, hearing about it, you know, and I'm sure, you know, I looked on eBay and Amazon, and I could not find any
no.
of the true crime books about Joe Ball. That would have been
Oh, yeah,
so
I'm sure
cool.
those are fucking collector's items worth a lot.
Oh yeah, so I didn't find anything on that, but I did look up to see if Bucky was still alive. Richard Bucky Ball died at the age of 84 4 years ago, February 2017, of natural causes.
R.I.P.
Yeah, and he was retired from the Army, and he served in the city council and his church there in Elmendorf. So
Nice.
seemed like a pretty good dude. He rode the rodeo for a while when he was a younger man. So he's kind of an interesting character. So if you get around watching that documentary, you'll see Bucky on there. He's just a really cool guy.
Who do we talk about recently who went down and tried to ride the rodeo?
Oh my God, I don't
Oh
remember.
no, it was the couples, the Fernandez.
Yes,
Raymond
yeah.
Fernandez said he was
yeah,
a bullfighter.
yeah.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Okay, I knew recently we had talked about.
Yeah.
yeah.
We do so many of these. It's like, what? You like have me like deer in the headlights.
Yeah,
and
no,
everything.
yeah, bullfighter. That's what it was.
What? Anything to add to this one, guys?
I don't think so. I think I'm cool.
Definitely got to do a commercial for the sociable. In.
Definitely need
Yeah.
to do that.
That needs to be a new series of commercials for that one.
Yeah, I feel like Michael needs to be in them too because he's the voice of the social.
He is the voice of Joe Ball. So I did my research watching a couple documentaries on YouTube. I did listen to a podcast. I'd listened to as much as I could stand. It was a man and a woman, and I wanted to throw up. So I had to turn it off. It was just too much.
I'm pretty stoked that we did. I mean, as far as Joe Ball goes, I feel like we just touched on about as much as you can and did it pretty well justice.
Yeah, for sure, man. The 2002 article that I mentioned in the Texas Monthly is called Two Barmaids, Five Alligators, and the Butcher of Elmendorf. You got to love that name.
Yeah.
Very, very good. I was really impressed with the detail with that. So go check that out. It's easy to Google. One of the top things that comes up, even if you just type in Joe Ball. There's a lot of information about the case in there. So if that's interesting to you, check it out. You mentioned the book, Joey, The Wild and Free Dukedom of Bexar.
Yep.
What a fucking title.
Yeah.
Written by Elton Coode. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like Cuda.
Cude. I don't know how you say that. He wrote the book.
Good.
But I don't know if it's about Joe Ball exclusively. I really wasn't totally sure.
Right.
But that one quote you read about the puppies and shit,
Yeah.
that's in there. I don't have it. I did look it up. I did not see any on eBay, but I did see one for $80 on a rare book site. So
Goddamn.
if it would have been more affordable, I might have bought it. But I'm not a book collector, so
What the fuck are you talking about? You seen your shit?
I just buy paperbacks that are worth a couple of bucks. So
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I was like, dude, you got a lot of books.
I do. We definitely would have loved to have Tex on here for this one.
Yeah, it
but,
would have been awesome. But
you
hey,
know,
it is what it is.
We'll
man.
get him on again next time. He's a listener, and so he's just
What
a
up,
great dude.
Tex?
Next week, we're going to be doing a big name in the true crime world, Joey. This is going to be a heavy hitter, man.
Yeah, Ted Kaczynski, the fucking Unabomber.
Oh, hell yeah. That's going to be a good one. A loner who lives in a cabin in the middle of nowhere who mailed bombs to people that he felt deserved them. He almost took down an airplane, which is how he got his nickname. And the way the FBI finds him is a great story, a really crazy case. And it's going to be even more cool, Chris, because we're going to have Wes Pollock in here.
Oh, yeah, dude. I can't wait for that. He's going to have fun.
Yeah, former Low 12
I'm gonna
drummer.
have fun.
And Wes is a listener of the show. And we're going to get his ass in here to Horns High. And we're going to talk some Unabomber with Wes. That should be fun.
Talk about some metal shit.
We're going to talk about some shit coming up. Some Low 12 fans might be excited to hear about. So I'll tease that a little. And you'll have to listen next week. We get Wes in here. We're going to explain what exactly I'm fucking talking about. So you don't want to miss it. Well, I think, guys, we've done our fair share of murder tonight. I hear that music. He's getting wild. He's getting ready to come in here. CK going to throw it down. So, Joey, what do we got to do?
Look here, dude. We need to get our metal
Known
on.
the world over as the master of metal, the crusher of posers, and Murder Metal Mayhem's knower of all things metal, hailing from Wild Van Street in Danbury, Connecticut, standing at 6 feet of brutal, punishing madness, weighing in at 220 pounds of poser pulverization, the one, the only, toughest bastard on the planet, Chris C.K. Kovacs!
All right. Got the great metal motherfucker on the line with us.
What
What's
the fuck's up, CK?
What's up? What's going on, gentlemen?
Oh, we are throwing down, CK. Went down to South Texas talking some crazy Joe Ball, the alligator man, Joey, the Butcher of Elmendorf.
Fuck yeah.
The Bluebeard of South Texas.
Bluebeard.
Pretty
Yep.
crazy. That was good. So, CK, you got quite the act to follow just talking some Joe Ball. But you're going to do it, I know, because the band you've picked tonight is going to be awesome.
I am doing Stormtroopers of Death, which is a side project
Nice.
of, at the time, a side project of Charlie Benante, Scott Ian, and Dan Loker, who at that time was with Nuclear Assault.
Yep.
Nice. CK, before you get started, we should dedicate this segment to our buddy Angel down at the auto repair shop in the Bronx that said he listened to this and he wanted you to do some New York bands.
That's true.
So I hope Angel's
true.
listening because we're doing one of the almighties, one of the great ones.
So, the way this started was Scott Ian was writing riffs right after Anthrax recorded Spreading the Disease that weren't really fit for Anthrax.
Right.
And at the same time, he kept on coming up with these drawings of this guy, Sergeant D. And somehow he put it together. Him and Charlie Benante started writing songs like March of the SOD. A lot of the stuff today would not even float.
That's funny that
Right.
you said that.
Would not even make it on vinyl
No.
or on
Very,
tape
very
machine.
politically incorrect shit.
Yeah, so they recruited Billy Milano, who they met earlier. I think it was at the CBGB's.
Nice. CK, can I tell you a quick story about Billy Milano that I heard from Gary Meskill of Propane?
Sure.
We were talking about what it was like, or he was talking about what it was like hanging out with Billy Milano, and he said that his gas was so bad. He said
That's funny.
it was like a delicatessen to the senses.
Oh, God,
That's
so
fucking funny.
So
dude.
there you go, CK. I'm just
He
giving
looks
you
like
a
it.
bit of information.
But they recruited Billy Milano. They recorded a 63-song demo called Crab Society North.
63.
63 fucking songs. Jesus.
God damn.
And then we're signed to Megaforce and started to work on the Speak English or Die album.
Oh,
And it literally
that's a
only took 3
classic,
days.
man. 3 days? Nice.
3 days, and God, you had classic songs like, geez, there's so many.
Oh, yeah. Kill Yourself, fucking yeah.
Kill Yourself,
Milano
Sergeant D,
Mosh,
Milano Mosh,
Mosh, hell yeah.
Speak English or Die,
right?
Chromatic Death, Freddy Krueger, Premenstrual Princess Blues,
Hell yeah.
Pussy Whipped,
Yeah,
Fist
Pussy
Banging
Whip.
Mania, Fuck the Middle East,
Yeah,
Douche Crew, and so on.
fuck the Middle East.
And
Damn it, dude.
and it took off, and it did really well, and it's considered one of the first crossover albums that really got big.
Yeah.
Right.
While DRI was probably the first band that got big with a crossover, this album was probably put crossover on the map.
Hell yeah, dude.
You know, and they didn't really tour that much. It was a side project. Everybody else was busy with their other projects, their other bands.
Right.
In 1992, they decided to do a one-off gig at the Ritz, which I was part of. I actually
Damn.
saw that show live.
Nice.
That's
awesome.
fucking
I
sweet,
saw him at
bro.
the Metro. I can't remember when it was. It was in the early 2000s, I think, and they were fantastic.
I think Morbid Angel opened,
Hell yeah.
and
They did Rain and Blood too.
Nice.
It was
yeah,
badass.
they did. Yeah, they did a
Charlie
couple covers.
Benante was just, he just started doing the jin,
Yeah.
and then they busted out into it. And I'm like, oh, they're just gonna do it for a minute. They did the whole song. I was like, fuck yeah, this was badass. It was cool.
But they recorded a DVD/VHS at that time,
Yep.
an album. So it was available on album, and I can tell you right now, it was not edited at all. It was pure live. Nothing was edited, and it was awesome. 99, he subsequently decided to record a follow-up to Speak English or Die. And in 1999, recorded an album called Bigger Than the Devil,
Yeah.
another classic.
Yeah, that might have been the
songs-
tour I saw him on.
Yeah, that was probably the tour, because I saw him on that tour too. They had the Crackhead song, Kill the Assholes,
They
Celtic
did the
Frost.
Ballad of Walter Payton in Chicago about a month
Oh,
after
God.
Payton died.
Yeah.
It was brutal. I mean,
That's cool.
absolutely brutal. But they're just that way, you know. That's
Well,
their
they did.
thing.
They did the Ballad of God, what's his face from Nirvana?
Kurt
Right after
Cobain.
he died.
Cobain.
Yeah, he did the Ballad of Kurt Cobain right after he died. So
Right.
Yep.
That's just
You know.
them.
You're dead.
along with a couple of cover songs by Nirvana.
Yeah.
But yeah, they recorded it. The album did really well. It was a great album. I loved it.
I do
That
too.
was a good follow up considering.
Yeah, for sure. It was good.
And in 2007, they did another semi follow up. Was an EP that is like an hour long. It consists of 2 covers, 2 originals, and the rest is live stuff.
That's cool.
So that came out in 2007, and that was Rise of the Infidels.
Yep.
You know, they've been on and on again, off again about coming, reforming, not reforming. As of now, I don't think they're really doing anything. I think they did that virtual live stuff.
Yeah, and they
with
did
Charlie
the
Benante.
FTA, right, Joey?
Huh?
They did FTA last time, right?
No, not
That
SOD.
was MOD.
MOD.
played.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Of course, they
But,
do
they
some
did-
of the SOD songs during their set too.
Right.
Yeah.
They did the virtual stuff for the pandemic with Benante, Ian, Lilker, and I don't know if Billy Milano was on vocals or not.
No, I know that they did fucking Speak Spanish or Die, and they got Mike Patton doing vocals.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
remember that video. Yeah, that was pretty badass.
But they call him the Lone
But,
Ranger in it, I think. Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
But Speak English or Die has been reissued, God, at least 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a classic,
it's
though, you know.
All of them are still available. You get them. You get on your platform or what you prefer for online.
Right.
You can listen to them. So, definitely check them out. They're a side project, but they're probably like one of the most influential side projects that you have out there.
Definitely.
I agree, dude.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm not usually much for band side projects, but I really love the SOD stuff.
You know what
I
one
just
of my
dig it.
favorite Scott Ian side projects is? The shit that he does with Brian Posehn. That shit's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Very, very good. Well, CK, what about your Lost Classic this week, dude?
A doom band out of California,
St. Vitus.
which for some, St. Vitus,
I'm
the
so
first
fucking
album,
stoked. I was big on them.
Yeah.
which for some reason the metal community were never big on them in the beginning. It was always
Right.
the punk community because they were signed to SST, which was the label ran by Black Flag's guitarist.
Okay.
So I mean, right now, today they're influential in the metal community, but back then they weren't very big as far as the metal community. And that album's a really good album. It's definitely a doom laden album with just slow riffs, and it just punches you in the gut like 10 times.
Huh. I'll have to check them out. I'm really not that familiar with them.
Yeah, I like them. Like I said, I grew up on them and pretty cool.
I don't normally dig the Doom stuff, at least not for more than a couple of songs, but I'm willing to give it a chance.
They got a lot. They pretty heavy metal influence as you go later on into their other albums.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Cool. All right. Cool.
But,
I think they were on.
Their stuff is available live. Check them, or available online. Check them out.
I think they ended up on Nuclear Blast, didn't they? At one point.
The last album I forget was
I don't know about the. I'm talking like a long time ago. I think they were on there.
I think 1 or 2 albums they were.
Nice. All right. Well, we're at that part of the metal segment where we got to listen to a little Onslaught.
Yeah.
Little 6 fucking 6, and then we're going to talk about what we've been jamming ourselves. So
Oh,
hang
yeah.
on. Hell yeah, man. Some 6 fucking 6 from our buddies in Onslaught. Loving that stuff. And that tells us what we're going to be talking about is what we've been listening to. Chris, you are the head of the Shawback Nation, and what is the official
shit.
what's the music of choice here in the last week since I've seen you?
What I've been listening to, I listened to Kitty's fucking second album. I've been listening to that a little bit because their second album, Oracle, I think is fucking great. I don't care what anybody says. I love
That's
it.
cool.
It's heavy. I know their first album was like more new metal-ish, but I feel like that second album, Oracle, to me, is like way heavier to me. I've
Never really heard
of that. No. They like I said, I didn't listen to them a whole lot, but there's just certain things that I listen to. That's the Oracle album. I think is fucking pretty badass. And our homeboy Justin Morris has been in here on the show. He just sent me some shit called Devout Sinners. And it's just a straight up satanic bluegrass, and I fucking love it, dude. And apparently he said they're from here in Bloomington too.
Really?
So yeah.
Wow.
So like he sent me that shit. I was just
wow.
like, oh fuck yeah, this is badass, dude.
Oh, that's
so
pretty funny.
I've been listening to that a little
Devout
bit too.
Sinners.
So yeah,
All right. Cool. Joey, what about you, man?
I've been listening to a lot.
a lot. He's
Yeah.
got a list over there. Like watch.
Well, I've been listening to the Colossus because I had Vaughn come out and did
that's
guest
cool.
vocals on one of my tracks, but he brought me the Colossus disc, which I had been waiting on since it got released. I was like refraining from listening to the full stream just so I could hear the full disc. I listened to a couple songs,
Right.
But anyway, so I was listening to Colossus. I was listening to Fudge Tunnel Creep Diets because I fucking love that
love
album.
that album.
Yep. I was listening to Holy Terror Mind Wars.
Nice.
One of my favorite live albums I was listening to was Armored Saints, Saints Will Conquer.
Hell yeah, dude.
Like, as far as live albums go, that was a really fucking good one. Another band that I really like that a lot of people might not realize, but I love the Butthole Surfers. Like, they're a fucking
Gibby
huge.
Haynes.
Yeah, huge influence on me. And I've been listening to Widowmaker EP a little bit, really good EP. And then in the car right now, which I'm going to bring this up later,
Dude.
but I got the Jimi Hendrix Blues album, and
Yeah.
but I will bring this up later in the Mayhem segment too. So there's a
Okay.
reason why I'm playing that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Jimi Hendrix Blues, such a good album.
Good album.
compilation. Yep.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've been jamming.
Very cool. CK, what about you, dude?
Sabbath, Ozzy, Angelus Apatrida, and of course, the Malice's Waking Harlot.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Just can't stop,
I
right?
can't let it go.
No, dude, I jammed the In Malice's Wake album on the CD in my car driving back and forth a couple times to
Sounds
work.
so
It's
good.
fucking killer, man. Yeah, I've been jamming that new Angelus Apatrida still. I've been listening to Decapitated.
Hell yeah.
Kind of a mix
Of different
some of
shit,
the
right?
older stuff,
Right.
and some of the stuff with the newer singer. I really like all of it. I think they're very diverse with the different lineups they've had. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
due to that accident, they killed the drummer and took the singer out,
Yep.
put him in a
Yeah,
coma.
he's in a
He
wheelchair
lived,
and-
but he's in no shape to be singing in a band. So it's very unfortunate. But yeah, they changed. But I like the different sound. You know, normally a band changes. It's
It's
like,
like, I don't like that so much.
yeah,
That
but I
is-
really dig the stuff they've done after that. So they're just great. And I finally got a chance to listen to that new AC/DC, and I
Nice.
got to admit, it's good stuff,
Yeah.
man.
I
I
love
like
Just
it. I like it.
Simple riffs, simple songs.
Yeah, we had it in the background. We were driving, and it was cool for
Yeah.
that. You know, it's cool for that.
Like CK said, I mean, if you want to hear AC/DC, you're going to hear AC/DC.
right. That's
Yep,
what it is.
exactly.
Now,
I think it's funny that you said that, like, on your drive, you listen to the Malice's Wake CD.
Yeah.
Like, when we cruising in Cashman's car, though, we straight up 90s, bro. Like, the big book of CDs where we're actually flipping physical copies of
Nice,
shit,
nice.
dude. Like, the big book, of, not just like the little travel pack. We got the encyclopedia of metal going on, bro.
I finally got
I
my
love it.
copy of the new Angelus Apatrida out,
yeah.
the CD, and I put that shit in, and it fucking sounds so much bassier and ballsier
Right.
listening to it that way. It's like, what the fuck? So, yeah, CK, you're starting to win me over. However,
Stream is good. Like if you're like,
want to just hear what they sound like
Right.
or check them out. The way I'm looking at it is, if I really like an album, I'll buy it, but I want to hear it first.
Yeah.
Because I know you buy, stuff, right when it comes out. I don't know if I want to get that deep into the CD collection, because I've already got a lot of CDs from when they were a thing. So yeah, but
Shit, cassettes are coming back these days, baby.
right. Now, we recently had a death in the metal world, more so the death grind world, Joey. A lot of our listeners may not be as familiar with these guys because they're from Chicago.
Yeah, Flesh Grind, their vocalist and founder, Rich Lipscomb, he passed away, heart attack.
Is that what it
I
was?
believe that's what it was.
Oh, wow.
how old was he?
I think he was early 50s, if I
Still young.
Yeah, he wasn't that old, but
No.
but Flesh Grind was a huge band, like Pete said, out of Chicago. Very influential. He had some of the sickest vocalists out the gate. Like, he was doing the gutturals that nobody else was fucking doing like that. He also was very iconic because he started United Guttural Records, which, I mean, if you're in underground metal at that time, they fucking had Malignancy, Putrid Pile, Devourment, Prophecy, Waco Jesus, I mean, Lividity,
All the fucking
Dead End.
motherfuckers,
If
dude.
you talk about a fucking sick album from that time period in that genre, usually it came out in United Guttural. So,
Right.
I mean, that was a big loss. He had stepped away from the scene quite a while ago, and he was a motivational speaker, I believe, which is really
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Yeah, so he was really on some positive stuff. So
That's
it's
cool.
a
That's
sad
terrible.
situation, but
Sad.
yeah, he'll always be huge to so many people, though, because through his label too, he introduced so many of the people from around our area to each other,
Right.
to help create the scene like that. I got lucky; I saw their very last show, so I was lucky enough to see that.
Oh,
and
wow.
he was just on stage. He was an amazing performer, and he was like really big into slam dancing and shit. And
Hell yeah, dude.
Right.
he was a huge presence on stage, and fucking, I was glad I got to see that. I know a lot of other people that I'm friends with got to see that too, and I'm glad we did. And just R.I.P. to him.
Yeah, for sure. Now, we've talked about before our 666 Club. It's our Patreon supporter club of VIPs, and they get $3 a month. They get all sorts of shit, Chris. They get that Dahmer episode.
That Dahmer episode, we just released that for everybody. You could have got that instantly, been like, oh, all right.
Yeah, I mean, the Patreon supporters got that months ago, but you can listen to that and see what you think, because we're getting a lot of new listeners. That Dahmer episode was up at about 1,500 total listens already.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of listens to that episode.
And we got one on the fucking Night Stalker and one on fucking Capone.
Yeah, all already released to our Patreon members. So thank you for those of you that do it. And we got one
standing in the fucking dugout waiting to come to bat.
Yeah, so we've got all sorts of good stuff, and they get the episodes a day early. They get the schedule of what we're doing. They get the karaoke songs when they're done. And just stuff like that. So $3 a month. Link to that in the episode description. So go check it out, and we appreciate it. Those of you that support it.
Fuck yeah, thank you.
We've done plenty of metal tonight, though, guys. So CK, what the fuck do we need to do?
Let's get a Mayhem on.
Thanks for calling Joe Ball Alligator Wrestling. How can I help you?
Well, a friend of mine said you guys do birthday parties for kids.
Yes, that's right. Our gators really love little kids.
Wait, you mean you let small children near the alligators?
Yes, it's a lot of fun. We have several videos on our site where you can watch it. The alligators love when one of the children get cut. The smell of blood drives them nuts. Turns them into a feeding frenzy.
That doesn't sound like something I want for my daughter's 5th birthday party.
You might want to reconsider. We're running a special this month for $49.95. You can have up to 10 kids fight the gators for an hour, and we'll throw in free pizza and birthday cake with ice cream for any of the kids that survive.
So fucking sick.
That one came out so good.
We've been waiting for this episode because we wanted the Joe Ball commercial on the Joe Ball episode. Duh.
Thank you, Michael, dude.
Yeah, Michael Schaubeck.
I can't help the fact that
that's great.
I can't help the fact that like every time I hear it though, like when he says ice cream, it sounds like ass cream.
Ass cream. It's all the kids that survive.
Free pizza and ass cream.
It's all the kids that survive. So yeah, that's good stuff. And before that, of course, SOD Milano Mosh.
Oh yeah.
Classic from the Speak English or Die album. Love that shit.
Fucking right.
All right, so we are in Mayhem, and that is always a crazy place.
And Cashman has warned us.
And Cashman has got a story, apparently, of stories to hear. And
this might help clear up a little bit about the intro to the show. And,
right, yeah, we had a little fun with the intro to the show.
Me and Peter are curious as shit ourselves. So
we don't know.
New to us.
So tell us your story, Joey.
Mayhem, man. I got a good Mayhem story.
Nice.
It has to do with my work again. Now, okay, so a real quick, though, before I get into a quick update on previous Mayhem.
Oh, no.
I just found out Jimmy Scola, no mind but light, that guy, you know? So my buddy Lil Folk, like I went up and saw him in Detroit, and he's from Forest too. So like I was like, bro, I brought up Jimmy Skull on the podcast. You remember him? And he was like, oh, fuck yeah, man. Dude, like, between me, him, and my buddy Testes, like, I think I need to record us talking about him because it's such a good story.
Fucking right, dude.
But anyway, what I found out was there's a fucking park bench in Forest down by the fucking Vermilion River or whatever river that is right there.
That's like, yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
It's like
but there's a park bench dedicated to Scola there.
That's
wow. So I'm going to go there and get a picture. Another quick update is neck tattoo.
Yes, awesome.
I remember the last time I told you about neck tattoo, she got a little more comfortable talking to me again recently.
Right.
So the other fucking day, she's fucking over by me. Okay, so I told you guys that she was blonde, and she like changed her hair color and fooled me one time, right?
Right.
She's done it again because now she's crop top and got the bob haircut.
Oh,
Just
no.
like the she's fucking Karen neck tattoo now.
Karen.
But anyhow, so she's fooling me again. But anyway, she came up to me the other day, and I'm sitting there working, and she's just like, "Did the truck come yet, Joey?" And her saying my
shit,
name
dude.
was the cringest shit I've ever. I was like, "You fucking!" I just wanted to kill her right then. But anyway,
man.
so yeah, she got fucking comfortable enough. She said my goddamn name. Anyhow,
Okay. So you've set the table
Right.
Hell
nicely.
yeah!
All right.
I love that. It's therapy as well.
Yeah.
We're having fun and it's
Yeah.
therapy.
Okay, so that brings me into tonight's tale of
Hell yeah.
of dude. This guy we call dude. This guy has multiple names. That's my name for him, dude. He's a truck driver
Okay.
that I deal with at my store. So I've been with my company going on 9 years. Ever since I've been there, he's been one of the truck drivers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, everybody at work, whenever I started there, because he had already been delivering and stuff.
Before
you know what I'm saying?
started,
Right.
yeah, right.
They all call him crackhead. To this day, day.
Crackheads.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Wow.
his nickname is crackhead. Like
Okay.
for the longest time, that's the only thing I ever knew him as was crackhead.
Does he answer to crackhead?
No, like they didn't
Okay.
call him that, but I'm saying
I got you.
they were
All
like,
right.
"Oh, crackhead's here." Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Come to find out, his name is Steve. So
Okay.
his real name's Steve, anticlimactic, but me and my boys call him dude because every time he said, he's like, "Little kid, dude," and he'll like tell us some bullshit.
Look at dude.
Yeah, and he's like, and he's yelling the shit out of the truck while he's working. So
Right, unload pallets and shit.
and I mean, this guy he's just tall tales for days. I mean, I don't know. So anyway, like when I started, there used to be a really old man named Bob that worked with us. Like he had fucking been there forever. He's retired now. But man, he used to fucking hate this guy. Like he did not put up with that dude's shit at all.
That didn't put up a dude shit at
No,
all.
and, like he would tell him stories. He'd be like, "You're lying, motherfucker." You know what I'm saying? Like he used to piss this old man off, and like I never really saw this too much, but he used to bring this cooler, and I'm sure it was just his lunch or some drinks or fucking something or other.
Right.
But like he used to like keep it like close to him, no matter where he was working at in the truck, in the trailer. That motherfucker was super
right
close
next to him
So
and
of course
shit. Hell yeah,
everybody
dude.
that's working there was like, "Oh, that's his drugs. That's his drugs. He don't want nobody fucking with him." And I mean, I'm sitting there like, "Come on, man, this guy's a truck driver. He's not just like But
Carried his
you're
fucking-
right, but this is going along with their crackhead theme of this guy. You know what I'm saying? So he's the crackhead. He's got this weird ass cooler. Another thing that he does, fucking this just him. He honks the horn like incessantly. Fucking.
Oh God.
You know when he's there because all of a sudden you just hear oh, and then like okay, we know you're here, and then he like pulls the truck up, honk, honk, honk. Yeah, okay, we get it. You're back, and he just honks like at everything. And when this dude backs up, oh my God. He'll like do it like 3-4 different times back and forth, and it's like, bro, you were just fine, like where you were at.
You've
But
been driving how long and you can't back this motherfucker
No, he
in?
can back it. He just wants it to be exactly precise. It's like, motherfucker, just get in here and let's do this shit. And every time he's backing up, honk, honk, honk. And so fucking dude. Yeah, dude. And then one day I'm like, every time he would come into our building, he would come in from fucking the opposite side, so he'd have to pull in, back the whole goddamn truck and trailer up. And, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And one day I'm like, why don't you take the turn up here at this corner and just come in from that direction? He's like, oh, I can do that? He's like, I just followed the GPS, dude. And so,
Dude.
yeah, so the GPS told him to go whatever way, so he would just always go that way. So finally, one day I told him, and then he started doing it the other way, and it was so much easier. So.
Help a dude out.
Yeah, no. Whenever I first started, and then like I became backroom coordinator too, like not long after this, I didn't have a problem with this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
What everybody else called him crackhead, I didn't call him that. Like
Right.
I was fine with the guy. I could work with him. He would work, he would do his shit, and that's all I really cared about.
Right.
At first.
Oh,
Right.
shit. Here we
Right,
go.
at first.
God damn it.
So he liked to tell a story. Like I said, he had all kinds of tales. He would piss this dude off, Bob, so bad. He would be like, now, I was a baller. I could play so much basketball, dude. I could beat Michael Jordan one-on-one, dude. Magic Johnson, I could beat him. And that's how he would he would tell me the story. He's like, them dudes ain't really what you think they are. They got a team, dude. They got a team. He's like, I could ball. I could ball these cats. When I was in school, I could have went pro.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and he would just go on and on about that. That dude, Bob, though, man, he used to fucking hate that shit. But he would he would get cool with me because I would listen to his stories.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to
So,
his
yeah,
shit.
you're cool with it.
Yeah,
but
he likes me and shit. And I'm like, okay, so we're still getting the work done. Now he's getting to the point where he's like laughing about, oh shit, dude, that shit crazy, dude. And he'll get off the trailer and come like pat me on the back and like hug up on me and shit, you know,
bro.
like I'm his bro and his
Right,
pal. And
we
I'm
ain't
like,
that, dude.
I'm like, dude, you know, I'm not really cool with that. And then he's like getting really friendly with me. He starts finding out stuff about, you know, whatever, and just from daily interactions,
Right, for
you know,
sure.
whenever I would
Right.
see him, usually 2-3 times a week, and dude, he starts talking to me about music because he finds out I'm into music, and he just fucking he's like, oh, I love some music, dude, and he's like talking about like all the old classics, Motown, like classic rock, and he had a pretty good taste in music, but he would just go on and on about it, and like, dude, he was like, Jimi Hendrix, dude. He's like, you gotta listen to some Hendrix, dude. I'm like, I love Jimi Hendrix. He's like, I got this album, The Blues. I'm gonna burn for you. And so he always talked about like his speaker system at home too. Like he would show me pictures, and he just loved. I can't remember the brand, but certain brand, and he was just die by. He was like, my system at home, dude. You can hear that 2 blocks away, dude. And he's like, he's so stoked on it. So one day he's talking to me about this Jimi Hendrix, and he's like, I'll make you a copy. I can burn like 10 CDs at once, dude. And I'm like, okay,
dude.
yeah. And he was like, so he's got this Jimi Hendrix CD. He was like, oh, in my semi truck, I got a system too. Listen to this, dude. And I'm like trying to put the trash out after we're done with truck. You know what I'm saying? And he like just sits there and blaring this Hendrix out of his truck loud as fuck, sitting there like, you like that, dude? That's raw, dude. And he's just going off stoked as fuck.
Oh, my God.
So he comes up to me like one of the next times I see him, and he brings me this CD. Now, CK, did I send you the picture?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so this dude's been talking to me about Hendrix,
Right.
And he burns me this CD of Jimi Hendrix,
right.
The Blues.
Hell yeah.
The way
Did
he
he do 10 of
spells
them?
it,
Did
the
he
way
just give you 1 or 10 of
just
them?
the one, but
Okay.
the way he spells it is Jimmi, and then HENDRICKS. Jimi Hendrix. And as much as he talked about this shit, he fucking brought me in and
spell it right,
spelled wrong as fuck. Oh my God. So anyway, so he brings me to Jimi Hendrix, dude. This shit's
Jimi
wrong,
Hendrix.
dude. Okay, so something else about dude is he also has
shit, my
he has
God.
this back strap, right? So he puts this back strap on when he works.
Right.
It's the grossest fucking thing in the world. Like, he's always sweating like a motherfucker and shit. This dude's from Detroit too. I don't know if I mentioned that.
No.
This guy's from Detroit, so he's like, I don't know. Like he's from Detroit. I don't know how else to put it.
He's Detroit.
Yeah, he's Detroit as fuck, dude. So he's got this back strap, and it's so fucking gross. And like, he'd be like, "Oh, I left my strap down there, dude. Can you hand it to me?"
Oh, God.
And so I would always grab it. It's so gross. But I remember, so my buddy fucking Randy, he worked with me, and he was like, he was fucking around for a lot of this shit while I was the coordinator back there. So he got to see. He was a younger kid, just smart ass. He was so funny to be around. But I remember one day I was off work or something, and Randy had obviously done the truck with them, and fucking dude had left the fucking belt there, and Randy was taking pictures of him wearing it and strutting around the back of the fucking. I was dying. He was sending me that shit at fucking while I was at home.
Oh my God.
So another thing that dude's really into is fishing. I mean, he loves fishing, and he's like got the boat with the fucking fish finder, and he's like trying to talk to me about all this shit because I live in Illinois, even though I don't fucking fish for shit.
Right.
But this other dude, Curdy Bird, that's what I call him because that's what we went by. Fucking, he did the beats on one of my fucking EPs for Goremonger.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, he was into fishing, so I fucking pawned him off. I'm like, oh, you know who likes fishing, dude?
Nice.
This guy, Curdy.
Dude likes fishing.
Yeah, and fucking dude's like, oh, dude, you like fishing? He just starts talking to him about all this shit, and that was fucking good shit.
Nice.
So, all right, so as time goes on, this dude's getting more fucking comfortable with me. Every now and then, he would start bringing up some shit that involved, like, race or fucking politics and shit. And I tried to tell this guy, I'm like, man, don't talk to me about none of that stuff because it's going to do nothing but cause an argument, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just trying to be at work. I'm taking in the truck in the morning.
I'll get along with you if I need to.
Right. But he would start bringing this shit up, and like I would start getting fucking hostile about it. I'm like, bro, you need to stop talking about what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting fucking pissed. And then something else he would start doing, man, he would fucking start getting up off the truck and shit. So, like, if he was ahead of what we were doing and people weren't fast enough getting their stuff done, he would, like, come off and, like, come try to... I'm like...
Like he's helping.
Yeah, I'm like, no, bro. I'm like, you get back up in that truck right now and you do your work, or I'm going to call DC on you. Our district.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not playing. I'm not going to have you down here bothering these people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he fucking really, really started getting fucking pissed off, or getting me pissed off. And I fucking just laid into him one day. And I'm like, don't fucking talk to me anymore. I was like, do your work. I'm going to do my work. And that's fucking it. And like, it all came to a head at that point.
Oh, wow.
And fucking after that, like, so he would come and we would just do our work and we would bust it out fast and we would get it done.
Yeah.
And he understood, man. I wasn't fucking cool with that shit at all. Like, he's like, man, why are you getting hostile? And I'm like, hey, man,
why ain't you doing your shit?
Yeah, do your shit and stop talking about what you're talking about. Like, I won't get into all the details, but it was some pretty, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Controversial shit. So, anyhow, after all this, I ended up not being backroom coordinator no more. And I remember at first, when I first fucking went on the floor, I seen him come in one time, like, on the floor. He's like, I'm just looking for my buddy, dude. And I'm pretty sure he was talking about me. Like, he didn't say that to me, but I was just kind of ducking out, trying not to fucking see him anymore. And so I kind of forgot about this guy, and it's probably the whole reason why I've never told this story yet.
Right.
And then I recently went back and did truck with them, and he was the one that was doing it.
He just shows
up.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh shit! I hear the honk, 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 and I'm like, oh hell no! And fucking, so it's cold. It was really cold at that time, like when the temperature's real cold.
Oh, wow.
So I had the hood on, I had my hat on over my eyes. I was like, I don't even want to see this guy. Like, I don't want him to know it's me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm sure he
and
was.
So I
just
didn't
straight
talk
up
to
like-
him, yeah. But I know that the new girl that works there, that this coordinator now, I heard her telling me the other day, she was like, if that motherfucker calls me sweetheart one more time, I'm going to fucking flip out.
Right?
So it's funny that she's kind of having a little issue with him. But anyway, yeah, that's the story of Steve. Dude.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that dude would come up with the funniest shit. I wish I could think of all the tales he told, but
Wow.
yeah, I thought that was a good one to tell.
That is a good one to
Sounds
tell.
good.
That's good, man. Those are great. Yeah, the Mayhem stories are just so much fun. We've had some good ones.
Ridiculous, man.
That's for sure.
Jimi Hendrix, dude.
Can't even spell that shit right.
I mentioned earlier, we were talking about Tony Campagna earlier. CK, you like that beating heart that he did?
Oh, sick.
I know, that was
Goddamn,
just
that thing's
fucking
gnarly.
brutal. Well, I had Tony as my guest co-host on my Voice of Dread podcast, episode 5, and we talked about his company, Spellbound Effects and Art, and all the shit that he creates, the sickness, like we just talked about, that beating heart.
Yep.
He's always coming up with cool stuff, and we get into it. We talk about what got him interested in art. Talks about a project he did in high school where he used real animal blood from the butcher for a painting he did, and so it's just good stuff. So check out this little 10-minute clip of that.
Hold on, before you play the clip real quick.
Yeah.
The thing about Tony, his artwork, the thumb drives, dude.
Yeah.
Like at work, we got little thumb drives all around all over the place, but these
Right.
are literally thumbs.
Yeah, it's like
So,
a real thumb.
It's like, oh, which one has this backup on it? Which one has this
Right.
backup on it?
You know that
So
one.
yeah, so we're about to order a couple of his thumb drives.
Awesome, yeah.
Just to fucking, so we know it's like,
Yeah.
these are the ones we need. You know why?
Unmistakable.
It's a thumb.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nobody will have one like that.
nobody.
Not that realistic. So let's check out this 10-minute clip of that Voice of Dread I just did with Tony. On my Facebook news feed is where I found you. I saw this video of the lamp, and I was like, oh my God, where the hell do I get that? And I remember going on your page, and I'm looking at all the stuff you were doing, and I'm like, looking at the studio that I'm sitting in with blood spatters all over the walls and serial killer masks.
Need this lamp.
And I'm like, I got to get with this guy to see if he wants to collaborate and sponsor the show, because we're like hand in glove with what we're doing. And so that's how I first got a hold of you. But I'm amazed at all the stuff you do. I mean, the vests, the cowboy hats that all look like human skin. The COVID masks are sick. What is that process like? I mean, obviously you're not going to give away secrets, but how does that happen from, start to finish in a kind of a thumbnail sketch?
So yeah, I use all life casts. So like 90% of my stuff is I've casted off of, body parts.
Right.
And then, you have your mold, and I have several different kinds of molds I use, and then you pour the silicone in, and voila, you have a body part. But
Right.
there's tons of like tutorials, and like, I'll get people to ask me, and in the beginning I actually told several people like what I was using, and then all of a sudden I see like the same stuff. They're putting up the same, and I'm like, all right, whatever.
Right.
So from then on, I was like, you know what? I learned on YouTube to how to use some of these chemicals. Like it's all right there. You just have to. The information's there. You just have to grab it.
Right.
So it's a lot of trial and error, a lot of expensive mistakes, but I think that's another area I'm in this year, is I'm just trying to perfect like my material use and
Right.
be more efficient. And it's a very it's a caustic thing for the environment with the chemicals, so I really try and recycle everything. I started selling my like scrap silicone as like flesh parts that you can decorate like a set in a haunted house or something.
Oh, sure. No,
Just
that's
trying
a
to
good
reuse
idea.
stuff so it's not everything's getting thrown out, because
Right.
those body parts are going to be around forever.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure. That's really cool. So how long does it take, like, to do one of the forearms? I mean, from start to finish.
From
how long?
start to finish, a forearm, it's my stuff cures in minutes. So once I pour something up, probably an hour and a half after I take it out, I clean it up, I give it some pigment, I airbrush the veins in it, and then if it's got lettering, I'll draw the lettering. I really try and keep in touch with all my customers and tell them, throughout the process. So I'll sketch something out, send them a picture. You sure you like this? Because I'm going to start cutting it in.
Right.
So about an hour and a half, 2 hours if I was doing an arm from start to finish.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the first thing you sent me was the arm with Murder Metal Mayhem carved into it. And I was floored because it's so dense. I mean,
you could wax
it feels
that
real.
thing, for sure.
Yeah, that would hurt if you got hit with that thing. Now, I know that you said, Tony, that you've been very involved with escape rooms lately. What's that all been about?
Yeah, so the haunt industry really took a hit last year with the COVID,
Right.
and I didn't want to rely on a seasonal income. So escape rooms are huge right now. They're
Yeah.
bouncing back from this whole virus thing, and a lot of them are have reopened with rules and stuff. And
Right.
in Europe, it's huge. Canada, it's huge. So I'm really trying to, and they're always, it's a year-round thing, and they're constantly upgrading their games or adding new puzzles, so I really am trying to incorporate everything I do to gear towards that, like with magnets. I use a lot of magnets in some of the props, or the RFID cards,
Oh,
like your
cool.
room key that's at the hotel, and
Yeah.
it triggers something. So yeah, the escape room thing's huge, and it's fun. It's always something different. It's always something custom that someone wants done, and I really enjoy that. Actually.
Yeah, that's really cool. I know we had a local Central Illinois escape room that we went to as the Murder Metal Mayhem podcast, and we went through it, and it was pretty awesome. But I could see when you mentioned that you were doing a lot of escape room work, I could completely see like all sorts of cool stuff that you could make because of what you do. And so that's a perfect thing. I think that's a great business smarts there to be able to do something year round instead of just relying on Halloween.
And then you still got the Halloween. You still got the cool Halloween stuff.
Of course.
that you're doing,
Of course. And I mean, nothing says, Mother's Day quite like, a severed penis.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
I know. I missed. That was another thing last year. I missed everyone's like, all right, so for Christmas, I planned on doing a leg lamp, but I just didn't have time. I couldn't catch up.
My wife really wants one of those.
The leg lamp, and I was going to do a heart and a dick for Valentine's Day, like a combo deal, but
right.
I just I'm pretty busy.
Too much going on. It is, yeah. That would be funny, though.
That's all in my arsenal. It's all going to happen one day.
That's right. That's right. Now, I'm amazed at what you do. I've been very impressed with the custom work you did. And when I came to you last year and I said, Tony, we're doing our 100th episode on Murder Metal Mayhem, and you just absolutely crushed it. I told you it was going to be on demonic possession. And can you tell us what that thing was that you sent me? That was crazy.
No, that was actually that was pretty easy to. When you said possession, instantly, I don't know why I thought of In the Mouth of Madness, when he's just like in the room with all the crosses all over the place, and I was like, okay.
Right, yeah.
So I kind of went from there, and then I'm like, if you're possessed and something's coming out and it's a severed head and something's trying to escape, it would obviously try and escape out of your mouth.
Right.
So I just used the tentacles and made it like a creature trying to get out of this severed head that's on a spike.
That's awesome.
So, that was
it's
fun to do.
So cool. We've nicknamed him Spike, and he's permanently on our table. So that's his nickname. So we couldn't come up with a better name. I mean, it just kind of says it all. And I think the beauty of this is you told me your daughter helped make the spike too, which is even funnier.
Yep. Yeah,
so you get your kids.
It kept coming out like a crayon. I'm like, no.
No, she did a great job. It looks very realistic. That's really funny. Now, what is the weirdest thing? And I'm sure this is probably an interesting question because you've done some really crazy shit. What's the weirdest thing that someone's asked you to create?
Yeah, so I had to think about that. I do. I think everything I do is weird, but
right.
I guess the honest thing. So, 3-4 years ago, we were asked to build. I don't know if you know who Russ McCamey is.
No.
But he runs a place called McCamey Manor, and they say it's a haunt, but it's really like a simulated torture thing that you sign up for, and they like kidnap you and drag you over to this place, and you have to do all these things. If you're afraid of roaches, they're going to dump a bucket of roaches on you. And if you don't like having like crap stuffed in your face, they're going to stuff crap in. I mean, it's like I don't know why anyone would want to do this.
Yeah, right.
Well, he saw us at at Transworld and asked us to build a like a shocking device, like a torture device. So we came up with an idea, and we used an old wooden school desk that's like from the early 1900s. And I have a buddy that's an amazing metal artist, and he made this huge harness thing that you slide your arm into, and it actually shocked you. Like, we hooked a device up that's used for like S&M play and stuff,
Right.
and on full throttle. We had the batteries hooked up to it. It's completely portable, so you can move it like around wherever you wanted, and you sat in
Oh
the chair
my
and you
God.
put your arm in this lock device, and there was a severed arm that you got strapped to that was next to it, and when you hit the button, you got shocked, and you had to hold the button as long as you could.
Oh
And
my
arm
God.
I still got burns on my arm from like testing this thing out.
Holy
So-
shit. So there's a little taste of that.
Dude, I fucked around with like personal like tasers and shit.
Yeah.
But like sitting there, like just holding the button as long as you can.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, that's a good little clip of that. But that gives you a taste of what the Voice of Dread podcast is about. And I'm always working on new stuff with that. I've got my next one I'm going to be doing with Sick Rick of Sick Rick Mask. That's going to be awesome. Got the new Bundy mask we just put up here in the studio.
Which
so
is
that's going to be
awesome.
awesome talking to Rick for sure. So
Ohio represent.
that's right. Now, tonight, guys, got another Killer Cage match.
Shit.
This is where we take a list of 70 killers that we came up with, 70 objects, and some variables, and our listeners pick random numbers,
Yes,
and
they
they
do.
decide who fights, what they fight with. And Chris, we got some listeners we want to thank.
We got 7 lies. I'm sorry. Yeah, we got Stephen Lyles going on. We got Samantha Cram it up your cram hole. And we got Tony Blake getting her in. So thanks for the numbers, guys. We
Balake.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's
Balake.
Balake. Tony Balake.
So thank you
It's
guys for
Blake.
providing those random numbers, and it gives us an interesting matchup. Joey, tonight we get the all-female match.
Fuck yeah, cat fight with Rose West and Lizzie Borden.
Nice.
Pretty bad.
Couple of mean bitches, man.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Definitely going to be fighting. Interesting with a couple of objects. CK, what do we got this time?
They'll be fighting with a can of corn and a 10-pound sledgehammer, with
Nice.
the variable being Jesse Creek Bomb, shirtless in a Magda hat, and swinging an aluminum baseball bat, screaming Trump 2024.
Fucking Jesse.
So I had to put Jesse in there.
yeah.
Just a little love to
That's 'cause
Jesse,
he's
our
a boss
buddy.
about trolling, dude.
Oh, Hoss.
So I thought Jesse Creek
yeah.
Bomb in a shirtless and a MAGA hat, swinging an aluminum bat, screaming Trump 2024.
Oh, shit, my
in
bad.
there with a can of corn, a 10-pound sledgehammer, Rosemary West, and Lizzie fucking Borden. So I don't know. Usually we start with you, Chris. I'm going to ask CK. CK, what do you think with this one?
I got to go with Lizzie Borden.
Okay.
Agreed.
She's just a vicious bitch.
I
Yeah.
don't.
10-pound sledge, or is she going for the can of
No,
corn?
she's going for the 10-pound sledge and just pulverizing.
Okay.
She knows how to swing.
That's true.
Exactly. She swung an axe, so she could swing that
Exactly.
and just pulverize Rosemary West.
Okay.
Then after that, I think she's just going to party with Jesse Creek Bomb.
All right. Joey, what do you think, dude?
I'm going to go the other way. I'm not so positive Lizzie Borden can pick up a 10-pound sledgehammer.
That's what I was wondering, if the can of corn would just be easier
Well,
and quicker. You know,
what
'cause that'd
I
be
think-
bludgeoning.
I feel like the can of corn is going fucking straight up Jesse Creek Bomb's ass.
Oh, damn.
He's
Yeah, boy.
boofing that while he's watching. I think Rosemary West is going to get the 10-pound sledgehammer and beat Lizzie Borden to death.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go with Rose West in this, and I think Jesse's going to be fucking corn chugging in the asshole,
Nice. I
in
like
the
that. I like
corner,
that. I like
watching
it.
the whole thing.
Wow. Chris, what do you think, dude?
Man, I have nothing after what Cashman just said, but as far as Lizzie Borden and Rosemary, fucking, they're in the middle. So Lizzie Borden's got the youth. She's running in. She's gonna grab the
Right.
fucking hammer. She's gonna swing it around because she's a swinger. meaning the axe, not sexual orientation.
Right.
Anyway, fuck it anyway. But I'm gonna give it. God damn it, you win. Jesse's ass wins this battle.
I don't know. I'm thinking Rosemary West is a pretty stout woman. Lizzie Borden was, I think, more slender.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's got the strength to be swinging a 10-pound sledgehammer, but she was swinging an axe and was doing it like repeatedly.
No, a 10-pound hammer is not light.
Yeah.
No.
So
At
that's
all.
why I'm thinking maybe the can of corn for just quick strikes. I mean, you start getting beat about the head with a can of corn, you're going to be pretty fucked up.
True.
But that's
even
why I
if they're
think
running
if
away-
Rosemary West got a hold of she could swing that 10-pound sledge.
Right.
She gets a hold of that shit.
Can
I
of
think
corn
Lizzie
even
Borden's
so-
fucking done for. So
If Rosemary is running at her with the hammer, and Lizzie Borden just, okay, you're running at me, and just threw the can of corn right at her face, it's
Right.
gonna drop you, dude. No matter what.
Well, yeah, for
that's
sure.
a full can of corn, and if the edge catches you in the fucking nose bridge,
right.
I said nose bridge.
What about Jesse in the shirtless in the MAGA hat? With
Oh,
the,
he's just
with the
drunk.
bat? But you don't think he's an issue here with this?
Oh, he wins every battle.
He wins every battle. All right. Well, that's an interesting one. The all female pick, and that's just random with the listeners, so that's just fun. Love doing some killer cage match. All right. Well, we found out over the weekend that the Revenant Con that we were scheduled to appear at in May, unfortunately, has been postponed like everything else due to the COVID issues. Now, Brian Ward, the guy behind that, of course, he's also behind the Dark History and Horror Convention, and he has set that, Chris. We got some dates of when that is. Friday,
Yes, we do.
October 22nd, and Saturday, the 23rd. That's going to be really cool.
So,
2
yeah.
days only.
Friday evening, Saturday,
It's all day Saturday. Yeah. And it's going to be at the I Hotel in Champaign, Illinois, which is a really nice place. Good location. We are, of course, going to have details as it gets closer, but right now that's about as much as I know. And he's getting people signing up for that left and right now that this other one's canceled. We switched from that to the Dark History, which we would have done anyway, for sure, you know.
Dark History, like the last two we've done, have been awesome. Met
They've
some
been really
great-ass
cool.
people.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll keep you posted on that. I'm sure we'll have Brian on. And Brian's got that new podcast that he's doing too. And I'm trying to think. I feel bad that I don't know the name off the top of my head. But it's good. I listened to their first episode and I thought it was well done. So we'll keep you posted though on the Dark History and Horror Convention. I think we've done plenty of mayhem tonight, guys. So let's hit that fucking outro. God damn. Some flesh grind, Joey.
Oh yeah, duct tape and rape.
Yeah.
Taped and raped, bitch.
Very sad to hear about that singer, and I'm glad we had a moment to talk about them. And I know, obviously the kind of music you do, huge influence, man.
Oh yeah, gigantic influence, and they're from here. And not to mention with Flesh Grind, I'm probably going to do this backwards, but Jimmy was the bassist with Flesh Grind, I believe. He's a guitarist with Jungle Rot.
He's
right?
the bass player for Jungle
Okay,
Rock.
so he was the guitarist for Flesh Grind, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one. I think it was. I think he went to the other.
I like the way you
okay.
said that too. I'm probably gonna do this back.
Yeah, but yeah,
Okay,
Jimmy.
yeah, I forgot Jimmy played in Flesh Grind
Yep.
too. Oh, Jesus.
And our buddy, me and Chris's buddy Jesse, who's the drummer for Sexual Atrocities.
Yes,
he
sir.
drummed for Flesh Grind for a while too.
Oh, wow. So bumper music tonight, Flesh Grind, SOD, and Macabre. CK.
Macabre.
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 CK, who
Macabre.
does your fucking intro music, brother?
Crisix.
Nice. And Murder Metal Mayhem music by who, Joey?
Low 12.
Hell yeah. And Chris, the 666 fucking 6 music. Nice. Academy Award goes to Chris Shawback. Go to the spellboundeffectsandart.com to support indie artists like Tony Campagna. He's got a great online catalog where you can order your gore, and go check that out right now. Also, earlier when I was talking about Brian Ward, the Dark History and Horror Convention, he's got a podcast, and I didn't have it at my fingertips, but Morbidly Macabre.
Sometimes when we sit here recording this shit, your brain goes blank.
Well, dude,
It's
2.5
on
hours
one
of
thing.
talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, what the fuck?
Right. So check out Morbidly Macabre. That's Brian's podcast. He has a few co-hosts with him. It's a lot of fun. So horror stuff, and it's right up your alley if you dig this kind of thing.
And let me clarify, because I just looked it up to make sure.
Yeah.
Jimmy did bass with Flesh Grind also.
Oh, okay.
Not the guitar, so.
Oh, I got you. I know he played guitar in a band, though.
Yeah, yep.
But thanks to everybody out there listening. The numbers, 4,300 this past week's a big number, so thank you. We appreciate it. And Chris got the first comment there.
Randall Flag 666. Interesting.
That's a character from The Stand.
Yeah.
Stephen King's
No
The
shit.
Stand. Randall Flagg.
That's the man.
Yeah,
Randall
that's the
Flagg
walking dude.
666 says,
The walking dude.
He's the walk-in dude.
All right, the walking dude. Like Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Walken says, hey, Pete, I really like your Voice of Dread podcast. I bought one of your books the other day on Amazon. Creation of Chaos 1. Can't wait to read it. Love Murder Metal Mayhem also. Listening from Charlotte.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, Charlotte.
Yeah, thanks,
Hell
Randall
yeah.
Flagg 666. I appreciate
God
that.
damn.
I'm sure you're a Stephen King fan with that screen name
How can you not be?
there. Joey?
Sasha Slay's bitches commented, this podcast gets better every week. Love you, motherfuckers.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. CK?
Planet Crusher said that Dahmer episode was sick. I think I need to join the 666 club to hear those bonus ones early.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you do. Paid the $3.
No
That's right.
doy.
He said no doy.
Chris, what about that last one, dude?
Shit. Billy Dobbins says, you guys fucking killed every week. Listener from San Jose, California.
San Jose is
San
on the top
Jose,
cities
man.
listening. So thanks all our listeners from the sunny state of California. It's definitely sounds pretty good right now,
Hey, dude,
but it's
guys,
getting
remember the
better.
other night we were just sitting there fucking random shit on YouTube, and I played that damn Family Feud shit with Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
And dude said, name me or give me a name that starts with H. Dude said Jose.
Oh God.
Did you see the video that I posted of our buddy that was at Shawback Nation?
Yeah.
Oh my
that was
God.
That
great.
was some good mayhem.
That
Fucking
was
dude,
great.
dude. We should put that on the we'll
That
put
was
that on our
great.
page. Yeah,
That was
it's
great.
So good.
So don't forget to check out murdermetalmayhem.com. Listen to all the past episodes. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check us out on Amazon Music, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, iTunes, and more. Leave us some comments wherever you listen. Helps rate the podcast and move us up the food chain a little bit. So,
Hail
Joey,
Satan.
that's 666 Club, man. We keep talking about it. They need
Yeah.
to get on it.
$3, go get it. I mean, listen to the fucking Ramirez and Capone episodes.
Right.
Do
It's
that.
gonna be
shit.
bad.
I think
Badass.
it's why motherfuckers don't get the 666 Club as much as they should,
Why is that?
because it's $3 bill, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, Limp Biscuit, baby.
Patreon.com/Murder Metal Mayhem. And again, we linked all this stuff in the episode description. You can go to PeteAltieri.com if you want to pick up one of my books.
Yep.
And if you want to check out the podcast I do now, in addition to this, go to voiceofdread.com if you dig horror and that sort of thing. Horror-type novels.
Horror-type novels.
We can't let them go, though, without hearing a karaoke song. I did this one with Joe
Definitely
Ball
not.
in
Yeah,
mind.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Crank this shit up. And until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
And keep feeding your horse to the gators, boy.
Dude.
I remember when Rock was young. Me and Susie had so much fun. Holding hands and skimming stones. Had an old gold Chevy and a place of my own. But the biggest kick I ever got was doing a thing called the Crocodile Rock. All the other kids were rocking round the block. We were hopping and bopping to the Crocodile Rock. Well, crocodile rocking, something shocking when your feet just can't keep still. I never knew me a better time, and I guess I never fucking will. Oh Lordy Mama, those Friday nights when Susie wore her dresses tight. Crocodile rocking was out of sight. Went by and the rock just died. Susie went and left us for some foreign guy. Long nights crying by the record machine, dreaming of my Chevy and my old blue jeans. But they'll never kill the thrills we got. Burning up to the Crocodile Rock, burning fast as the weeks went past. We really thought the Crocodile Rock would last. Well, crocodile rocking is something shocking when your feet just can't keep still. I never knew me a better time, and I guess I never fucking will. Oh Lordy Mama, those Friday nights when Susie wore her dresses tight. Crocodile rocking was out of sight. Susie had so much fun, holding hands and skimming stones. Had an old gold Chevy and a place of my own. But the biggest kick I ever got was doing a thing called the Crocodile Rock. While the other kids were rocking around the block, we were hopping and bopping to the Crocodile Rock. Well, crocodile rocking is something shocking when your feet just can't keep still. I never knew me a better time, and I guess I never fucking will. Oh Lordy Mama, those Friday nights when Susie wore her fucking dresses tight. Crocodile rocking was out of sight.
Mother, man.